What up, what up, what up, what up? What is good, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Dallas Cowboys Uncensored. I'm your co-host, Eric Berger. With me, as always, Charlie, running backs don't matter. Moffitt, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Doing great. With us today, special guest, Rika Musa Chains. Welcome to the show, miss.
Hey, kids, what's up?
What up? So, yeah, this is going to be the breakdown of last night's game. So any blanket statements you want to start out with? Anything, any generalizations, any thoughts on not anybody specific, but how he looked, either side of the ball, something like that?
I'll start off with a shout out to the group, hashtag DC4L, DC for life. Give them a look. Join the group. It's a big Facebook group. We got over 130K people in it. They do a lot of raffles and stuff. They're doing one right now. It's a pretty cool group. Go check them out. They've agreed to let us post in there. So they're nice doing that. So I'll give them a shout out for it. And go check it out. You'll enjoy it. And that's it. As far as the game goes, not a lot. I mean, I think the players that stood out was thought Nahshon. I'm not a huge Nahshon but fan. No, that's not a fan. He's a fucking Cowboy, so I'm a fan of his. I just don't have a lot of hope in him. But he stood out. I thought he stood out and did good. Cox. I love Cox. I love Cox, so, I'm always going to be a fan of his. I thought he stood out. I thought Neal looked really good, especially compared to the Pittsburgh game. And Osa, baby. I think he stood out more on the defensive line than anybody else has.
Yeah.
So,
anybody
that's about
on offense?
Offense, I can't pronounce the kid's name, so I'm not going to hammer his fucking name. It starts the backup center, Finoco, or fucking Farriok. There you go. Whatever his name is.
Sorry,
I thought he stood out. Not that he did great, but he did a lot better than he did last week.
Yeah.
I thought he looked pretty good. I thought the overall O-line looked better than they did the week before. Receivers, you can't really judge them because, well, they just ain't really got nothing that Cooper Rush and fucking DeGoofy. That's just not going to – I mean, I kind of feel sorry for the wide receivers trying to get, some snaps. But overall, I thought they didn't look bad. Defense looks good, man. So far, so good.
They're flying. That's for sure.
They're running around. Fucking Quinn's got them boys just – we'll get into it later. But that defensive front, dude, he has that defensive front. Like, you can't tell if it's a 4-3, a 3-4, or 3-4 with 4-3 principles, a 4-3 with 3-4 principles. They're lining up they're lining up in the 1, the 0, the 2, the 3, and they're all just moving around.
Yeah.
So if that's his plan, or if that's just his plan for preseason to keep it simple for the young guys, cool. But if it's his plan, that's going to be pretty interesting because they're moving around. Jalen, above average linebacker with drop foot. That runs like he's on it.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be bad. I tell everybody I have drop foot, so I'm not making fun of him. I have the shit. When he runs, since he started playing a lot in 2018, I told everybody he still has drop foot. I could tell because how he runs. When you have drop foot, you run like you're fucking on a stick horse. Fucking for the young folks, a stick horse was a poor fucking toy that I had. It's a goddamn what it is. It's a stick with a goddamn horse head on the back, and you get on, and you fucking ride it. And that's and when you ride it, you run, and you just run doing this. And when he runs with the fucking gallop.
Yeah.
And that's. I mean, I run with the gallop. Mine drop foot's a lot worse, especially with my wide ankle. So mine's real bad. But yeah, you run. It's how you have to pick your foot up just to get going, and that's just how you run. And so.
Yeah, for me, hope is lost there because that's not something that you can just get better from. Especially this long after the injury, you'd think you'd get the nerves firing within the first year or so, and it just never happened for him. And he's always going to run like that. That's not even. So describe what the AFO is. Even when he was playing with it still had a little hollow, especially at the top end when he's grabbing gears, top end speed. You can kind of see, and it's really exaggerated with the hair, right? That's how you notice because you see that hair every time. That's how you notice that gallop.
Well, see, that's the thing. People keep showing that video clip and arguing who was responsible for the running back coming out of the backfield. My thing was, I don't really give a shit who was responsible for him because I can't tell you who was because it looked like he should have been, going for the flats. He should have been covering the flats. But at the same time, how he came off the line of scrimmage, it looks like he was playing the run, and that was his. And before the snap, he was also looking at the tight end. So he was reading the tight end. Once the tight end blocked down, he came up to stop the run, and then the running back went out in the flat. So I can't tell you who was responsible. I can't tell if he made a mistake or if – I know LVE shouldn't have the flats as the middle linebacker. The LVE should not have to run all the way over. And if LVE was responsible for the running back, well, then he made a mistake because he bit up for the fake, and then the running back went that way. So I don't care whose problem it is. My thing is watch the play. Watch him run. LVE is probably 7 yards behind him when that play starts. When the play ends, he is at the fucking play, and fucking Jalen is trailing the play. LVE did not just catch up to him. He caught up to him and passed him. Jalen just has no lateral movement. That's another thing drop foot has. So I tell everybody, I have no lateral movement. I cannot move side to side worth a shit. That's why I've always said that's why my fighting days ended. Because I would get my ass whooped if I got in a fight. Because I have no kind of lateral movement. I can't fucking weave and bob. All I can do is get fucking hit. So, but yeah, it affects your up, back and forth movement too, but not as much as it does your lateral movement.
Yeah. Let's give a quick shout out here. Got a couple people in the chat. Yeah. BJ Nix from Star Gangs in the house. Appreciate you stopping by. The Lunatics also here, and Charlene Palmer. What's up?
That's my aunt.
That's okay. Yeah. Peeps here for Rika. Yeah, y'all keep the comments going. It helps us move the show along. Then you don't have to listen to us the whole time and get some interaction going. But let's start getting into more of particular players. We'll start off with the offense because I don't think there's going to be a whole lot to talk about on the offense. I think that's one of the sides of the ball in the game that there's not a whole lot to talk about with the backup quarter play. It's hard to analyze and really give an opinion on the receiving core, tight end, stuff like that. Now they could make a couple plays and they made some mistakes too, but anybody jump out at you? I know you mentioned before Farniok. I also thought Knox had a good game with Dowdle putting the ball on the ground. Now, granted, you go back and look at those two fumbles. It was just really great plays. I mean, solid punch on the ball. He still needs to hold on to it, and then the helmet on the ball and the other one that he actually got back. Kind of a deal. Kind of a you don't want to make that a trend or see that a lot, but I think it kind of opens the door for a guy like Knox, who had a really good game, albeit late, right? Anybody else jump out to y'all?
Go ahead, Rika.
As far as jump out offensively, I think Simi had a little bit better game than he did last week.
He had a really nice pancake block.
He did. But I don't think that as far as who's going to get that 6th receiver spot, it's hard to tell when you've got those backup quarterbacks out there. You really need to see those rookie receivers with Dak. But at the same time, you need to see those backup quarterbacks with the 3 starting wide receivers to give them the best chance. Because sometimes was it the quarterback, was it the wide receiver? Mm-hmm. It goes pretty fast. Steele only made me really mad once, which is a record for Terrence Steele. Not a Steele fan, and I'm really disappointed in him. I felt like he had so many starts last season. I know he was an undrafted free agent, but he had this huge opportunity to learn so much because of all those injuries, and I don't feel like during the offseason he progressed a single bit. If he did, I haven't seen it yet. Ty Nishke, I wasn't a fan of that free agency signing. I thought he was terrible against the Patriots. I know he's got a knee injury, and I'm hoping that for us that's the end of the Ty Nishke situation. His resume is like a hot potato. He's been with like 17 teams in 13 years, back and forth between the arena and the NFL. That just wasn't a good signing, and I'm over it. Isaac Alarcon, though. Number 60, my guy from Mexico. First of all, I hope somebody got him some cake. Bless his heart, watching him in Hard Knocks, and he's just standing there. I want to try some cake. Yeah. And our mean offense destroyed the cake and sent it up flying all over the field in Dak's face. He just wanted some cake.
Yeah.
Poor Isaac, sweet guy. But I think there's been amongst the fan base, there's some confusion about where number 60 came from. Isaac is part of the NFL has an initiative called the International Pathways Program. And what they're attempting to do is to expand fan bases across the globe for American gridiron football. Given opportunities to athletes who are not within the American collegiate system. So Alarcon played American gridiron football at the Monterey Institute of Technology, and then he played a little bit in a Mexican league that I don't know exactly what they call it, but it's kind of similar to arena football. He tried out for the Pathways program, and I believe it's scouts who get to make the decision, and every team can have at least one player. So the Cowboys chose Alarcon. That was in late 2019. So he came here for 2020. But the rule is that the first season, as part of the program, you have to stay on the practice squad. So he was on the practice squad in 2020 per the rules. Then they get to participate in the rookie minicamp, which he did. And then they get to compete for a roster spot. So that's what he's really working on right now. I know there was some confusion about why on the back of his helmet he had both the American and the Mexican flags, and that's why, because he's representing Mexico in the NFL, and working as an ambassador, trying to sell this American product, this American sport, and make it more mainstream south of the border. So he's a neat guy. He hasn't drawn my eye for anything great, but he hasn't drawn my eye for anything bad the way Terrence Steele and Ty Nitschke have. So I've got high hopes for Alarcon. I think he had a few good tackles in there against Pittsburgh. He didn't draw my eye much last night, but I like him. I hope he makes the roster.
Who do you have at swing tackle with Musaki not panning out? Charlie, any thoughts?
I know. See,
I thought Riker was going.
Yeah. She's
I'm with Charlie in that.
Everybody.
I'm with Charlie in that. I think that in the event that
kick Martin out.
Yeah, we need to bring Martin over. I think that's the smart move.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're going to do what's smart, well, that remains to be seen. But yeah, definitely just take Martin to the outside. That would be the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, I'm not for going out and signing.
If we just had Rashawn Slater, that's okay though. Oh. Slater was my guy. I had so much love for Slater. He was right there. He was just waiting for us to come get him. And I like Parsons, but Rashawn Slater's always going to own a little piece of my heart.
Yeah, I'm not for going out and signing a swing tackle. I just say take the best one. If it's Nitschke or if it's fucking Steele, I don't care which one you do it. But if a tackle goes down, your best swing tackle is playing right guard, and you move him over. That should be your swing tackle. And if Connor could have won the backup center spot, and after last night, I don't see him. I hope he doesn't win the backup center spot. But if he could have won the backup center spot, you just took care of 5 roster spots, with 7 roster spots with 2 players, with 5 players, because your starting offensive line is out there, and your backup swing tackle, and your backup swing tackle. Your swing tackle is on the field. He's a right guard, and your backup center is your left guard. But I don't think he's going to win that job. But yeah, no, I don't care who the swing tackle is. I still think if one of our tackles go down, it should be fucking Martin that moves out, and he should play it. He's better than any swing tackle that we're going to get in free agency. There's not a swing tackle out there. The dude that everybody was raving for last week, that there was a rumor he's going to sign, old Baltimore Raven. I can't think of fucking his name now. But anyways.
Usumwa or something like that?
Yeah, no. But Martin's better than he is. So my thing is, why go out and sign a guy when you got somebody on your team that's better than
Russell Okung. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you. I agree. Now,
I mean, you're going to pay Okun what, $2-3 million, maybe $4 million to fucking set. You know, fine.
right.
You got the best. You probably have one of the best swing tackles in the game on your team. It's fucking Martin. You know, I mean, I know he doesn't like playing out there,
I was
but
gonna say, is there any pushback from him, like we kind of saw in the PCs
you know
last
what,
year?
dude? You know how I am by NFL players making money. Make all the fucking money you got, but you're making a lot of goddamn money. So if they want your fat ass to move out there to swing tackle, and then take your fat ass out there to fucking swing tackle, we're paying you good money. We're paying you good money to play right guard, but every once in a while in a pinch, if we need you, take your ass out there and play right or left tackle.
Especially if Dak's healthy, right? Because we got to protect that too.
Yeah.
It's not just his investment.
That's a huge investment.
Yeah.
And I don't want that investment in the hands of Terrence Steele.
I saw one play, and I don't remember where it came last night, where he kind of he got blown by. I guess he missed his block, but then he threw his hands up like he was fouled or something. I was trying to understand why he threw his hands up. So yeah, boy, he just got blown by, dude. Steven keeps saying we don't have the money. Yeah,
Steven's always going to say that.
that's
we can have $30 million of cap space, and he's going to find a reason why we can't spend it because we need it because we got guys coming up we're going to have to pay. We have $5 million cap space. Well, we got $5 million. I mean, there's no reason. We got money. You can make money. You can. There ain't so much pie. That's stupid. There's only so much pie to go around. Well, you know what I do when I run out of pie? I fucking cook me another pie. I eat another pie. That's how the cap is.
Yeah.
Fucking, if you run out of pie, you create more fucking pie. And it's easy. It's not hard to do. If the last piece
just stayed out too long, you just throw it away.
Yeah, throw it away and bring another fucking bring another
new
piece of pie and fucking start doing that shit again. It's
pie
simple.
is okay.
Yeah.
Nick says, for what it's worth, Nucci played a little better this week.
He
didn't fuck it up, I guess.
He did.
Yeah, he did all right. I don't like that sidearm bullshit anymore. I think he tries it too much.
Yeah, that's what I said on Twitter last night. That motherfucker reminds me of a fucking 8-year-old PB player that's fucking trying to imitate Patrick Mahomes on every fucking pass. Like, watch this, guys. I can throw sidearm. Like, fucking, I don't give a shit about your sidearm pass.
It should be a tool, not what you use every fucking time, you know?
Yeah. Good God, man. Just throw the goddamn ball normal.
I was done with DiNucci after the Pittsburgh game. I felt bad for him last season after Philadelphia because I thought, well, you know what? Maybe if he'd had a little bit of a better line, he could have had a better showing and against Philly. And I kind of felt bad for him then, but no.
It wasn't even his own line, really. It was the fact that he got no preseason games, he got no offseason. When you're the third string quarterback, you're getting very little reps in practice. You're mostly running scout team.
Yeah.
So that's why he went in there. I mean, he sucked last year, but I was like, I don't have this fantasy of backup quarterbacks though. That's why when you fans are, we got to get better at backup quarterback. I'm just like, hey, yes, get the best one, but lower your expectations and stop fucking thinking of Dak taking over for Romo or Warner taking over for Green or fucking Brady taking over for Bledsoe. That's
Tony taking over for Bledsoe.
That's not the norm.
Lunatic mentioned the athletic traits Mike McCarthy talked about, like Cowboy Dale said last week. He was doing some unique things off of his back foot.
So you did.
It's unique.
Unique shit off my back foot all day long.
That's funny.
Well, you're not supposed to be throwing on your back foot.
Yeah.
I mean, and he does that all the time, too. I mean, that's, like Patrick Mahomes. He does it when he has to do it. And he can fucking chunk it 70 yards down the field off his back foot. But he doesn't just drop back in a clean pocket. It's like, hey, let me fucking check this out and throw off his back foot. Or throw the fucking motherfucker 50 yards on a sidearm throw. Yeah. He just does it when it's necessary and he has to do it. DiNucci's out there fucking like the Harlem Globetrotters of football trying to show off his skills. Just throw the goddamn football.
How big of a concern is backup center at the moment?
Now, big concern.
It's got to be huge, right? It's
the biggest.
Now let me ask you this. Now I know Looney comes up in a lot of conversations about backup center. Does New York own the rights since he?
Yeah, when you retire, when you sign a contract and you're however many years you sign, I think you only signed a 1-year deal. Yeah, they have the rights to him. He comes out of retirement. We have to work something out with them.
We'd have to give up something. Okay,
I got you. Trade for him or work something out with them. Yeah, they own his rights.
What's the center market look like?
There's nobody out there.
There's
That's the sad thing.
nobody.
There's just
No.
nobody
And I
out there
don't
that's
understand why we didn't sign Looney in the first place. Like we didn't. I mean, Biotish was great last season, but didn't we learn a lesson about not having depth last season?
Yeah, I feel like
I didn't
there's a
understand
handful
Looney
of
going in
players
the
I could
first
name
place.
now
I
that we
thought,
could replace with him in his roster spot. I think at least a handful. I understand trying to bring young guys, but he played well when we asked him to. Um, okay, so winners and losers on defense. Any stock up, stock down guys jump out?
um,
I'll t-
Mukuamu seemed hit or miss to me. I saw like really, really good things, and I saw a couple bad things. So I'm still on the fence about him. I don't know. I don't know if Israel makes this roster or not.
Yeah, I feel like he's
Um,
still a bubble guy, but
mhm,
we haven't seen a ton of great safety play anyway. So from
no,
anybody, in my opinion, but some of the big plays or noticeable plays have come from Mook. So I actually thought he had a pretty good game. Him and Wright. I saw Bossman Fat not have a great game. I saw him being a burnt toast on a lot of plays.
mhm,
So as far as the outside, I'd like to see more snaps go to Wright. Um,
yeah,
I felt like I don't know. I don't know what if something was off with Bossman, but he did not look the same. He didn't look confident. When they kind of zoom in and they show their faces and stuff, and he looked worried, man. He looked like he was just,
yeah,
what am I doing here? Because they're picking on him. Linebackers. I felt like Neal was probably
yes,
the best linebacker of the night. Um,
yeah. Neil Stock is definitely up. He didn't have apparently a very good training camp.
yeah, it was a great comeback
Last
from
night was
last
like,
week.
oh, definitely. And if that forced fumble from Neil, and that teamwork between him and Parsons, if that's an indication of things to come, then that is super exciting.
Hmm.
That was beautiful to watch. Um, well, Osa, oh, for me, that that sealed the deal last night. Osa deserves a roster spot.
I think so too. I don't think he was. I had him pegged as our three coming into the season before any
Mhm.
camp or anything. I felt like he was going to be able to take it, and now with Neville missing 4 to 6 weeks, I think it all but cements his spot on the roster. Um, but outside looking in, it's still kind of those other guys we picked up, specifically Bohanna. I think he makes flashes here and there, but like last week, he had the one hustle play in the first quarter, first couple series, I think it was, where he's 10 yards downfield, but the rest of those plays where he flashed were against guys that probably won't make the other team. You know what I mean? Late in the fourth, when there is not very many recognizable names in the game, so I feel like his stock is continuing to go down, um, and Osa's is continuing to rise. And I think we got the best possible news for Gallimore. Um, 4 to 6 weeks. I thought he broke his. When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh God, he
Yeah,
broke his arm." And that's it.
that's what I thought too. That forearm was
Yeah,
broken the way he was holding it.
yeah. And then now that it comes, yeah, it would look limp. He looked out of a ton of pain. I thought for
Hmm.
sure that was broken, but the fact there's no structural damage, it's basically just a dislocation. And as long as he can deal with the pain, rehab shouldn't be that bad. It's just rest, and then probably a few weeks to get the strength back up from the atrophy. So that's great news because we need him. I think that rotation on the front, everybody's playing everywhere. So a guy like him who can, I think it's important that we get him back as soon as possible.
Yeah, I am. BJ's mentioned Parsons continued his great play. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
flying.
I mean, and I'll be the first to admit Parsons was not the pick that I wanted. I was anti Parsons. I did not like Parsons.
We were too.
I
Yep.
wrote a whole blog calling him an unholy draft pick. Parsons was not my guy. But through all of that, though, I never ever questioned the athleticism. I never questioned his level of player that he could make a difference. I was
Yeah.
concerned about his character. But over this last off season and getting to watch him and seeing him interact with other players and learning about his family, Parsons has really, really grown on me. So I like him. I'm excited about him. I'm glad he's a Cowboy. Um, I think he's excellent.
Yeah, we were real
There's
down on the
never a
pick
doubt.
because
There
of
was never a doubt
positional
in my
value.
mind that he wasn't going to be great
Yeah.
on the field. And the concerns that I had as far as off field so far, there's been no problems. So I was wrong. BJ was right. Parsons is awesome.
Our problem was the off the ball linebackers.
Yeah, the positional
I
value.
didn't give a shit
Yeah.
about the player when we drafted him. After I said it was a dumb draft pick and we shouldn't draft off the ball linebacker at 12, I also said right after that he would be our best linebacker on the team before he even steps foot on the NFL field. Because he was going to be better than Jalen, which that doesn't take much, and he was going to be better than LVE, which might take a little bit more, but with LVE fucking breaking his fingernail every other game, that's going to fucking, I think he'll be better than him. So the player I never questioned. It was a lot like Zeke pick. I never questioned the player. I knew Zeke was going to be fucking good. I had no doubt he was going to be good. It still didn't take back the fact that we was dumb as fuck for drafting him at 4. It's the same with Parsons. He was going to be good. I'm saying he's going to be He's going to be our best linebacker on the team, but it's still not smart to take an off the ball linebacker at 12. And I'll stick with that. Even if he turns out to be all pro, that's fine. It's still typically you do not do that, especially when you got an offensive tackle sitting there that you can have too. Typically, you don't want to do that. You know, it's just the value of the positions is just not there.
Right.
But the player.
I mean, it wasn't just how great Rashawn Slater was. It was also the injury history with Tyron Smith.
Yeah,
Tyron Smith is excellent, but he just can't stay healthy.
Yeah, the player part of it though, I never had a doubt at Parsons, as far as player goes. He's big. He's a big dude. I mean, he's going to be great. So I never doubted that. He might end up being better than I even thought he was, and I thought he was going to be a damn good player. And he might even be better than what I thought he was going to be.
Yeah,
but like I said,
it had to be great.
Yeah, it had zero to do with him as a player. I wasn't. Sometimes I'm concerned about the character shit because Cowboys tend to like that kind of shit, and I tend not to. But I wasn't. The character issues he had, I wasn't really worried about it. Plus, he had a kid, and not everybody straightens up when you have a kid. But I know I did, so I know I trusted that hey, okay, I got a kid now, I got a job in the NFL now, and I felt like I had to trust that he's going to look in the mirrors like I've got to do better. I got to walk a straighter line. Kids usually do that too. With that said, I know people who had kids and they was a big piece of shit after they had a kid that was before, so it doesn't always work. But if it can work on me, it can work on anybody. If my kid straightened me out, it can straighten anybody out. And I was a lot worse off the field than fucking Parsons was. Trust me, I was doing a lot more dumb shit than him. But yeah, that was the only thing was an off the ball linebacker is I wasn't.
Anai, yes.
Bradley Anai spin move sighting, which is his only move. But man, it's sexy.
That was a dumb penalty he got over there on McCoy though. But that was the only bad thing though that drew my eye to McCoy, and that was just a dumb mistake. And I'm glad that Anai got a lot of snaps last night, and I was glad because he didn't get a fair opportunity last season. He deserved an opportunity to show what he could do. Even if he's not going to land in Dallas, he deserved that film so that maybe some other team is going to see him.
Mm-hmm.
He
Exactly.
really didn't get a fair shake. When we draft him, was it the 3rd? I don't remember now. It was. We drafted him.
It came later.
Was it later?
Yeah.
I mean, we drafted him and then we didn't use him, and so for him to
regime
changes and then he gets cut without ever getting a chance, that's not right.
Yeah, he was a 5th round pick.
5th, okay. I knew it was an odd number.
Yeah, he's one of those no sponsor guys, right? So when he was, uphill battle, he doesn't have anybody in his corner. He has to come out and prove it against guys that are in office now, have their picks in. So, yeah, but with him, I said it when he's coming out of college, like, dude, he's got one move. It's fucking badass, but you can't do that every play. The only person I knew got away with that is and I wish we had picked him up, but he ended up going to It was the Murray fumble. Who's the guy that caused the Murray fumble in 2014?
In Green Bay game?
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. My mind just went blank, too.
Spin move guy. Anyways, he's the only guy that I've ever watched, and I've been watching football for a pretty long time, that got away with, man, that's all he really had was that goddamn spin move, but it worked every time. I can't remember his fucking name. Anyways, it'll come to me. But I just don't see it. He's a one-trick pony, and that's not going to last. Even a situational type of deal, I think we have better consistent pass rushers ahead of him. So,
Yeah, I think he's going to. I'm not so sure he can make the team.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually be shocked, to be honest with you, if he made the team.
But Reggie Robinson's another one.
Like you say, he doesn't have sponsors. He doesn't have the size that Quinn likes. So for him to make the team, he was going to have to come out and just, like I used to tell my son when he was a 185-pound defensive tackle, and coaches always loved the big defensive tackles. He was the smallest one. Hell, he was smaller than the fucking linebackers and smaller than some of the fucking goddamn cornerbacks. And I told him, dude, for you to get playing time, you have to go far and beyond what them other big fat dudes are doing. Yeah. Even if you even them out, even if you do just as good as them, they're always going to go with the bigger guy, just because he's big. I said, you're going to have to flash and just say, look, you can't take me the fuck off the field. And he did good. He didn't get as much playing time as Pops thought he should, but I'm going to be a little biased in some shit, obviously, with my son. But he did flash. I used to always post his fucking clips on fucking our chat and shit. He's a little bitty dude. He looked funny out there playing defensive tackle, though, because he was the funniest one. I don't know if Eric remembers this. They was in a playoff game, and the fucking offensive line they was going against was actually the size of like a 5A or 6A school, and we was a little 3A school. None of them weighed underneath 295 pounds. My son weighed 185 pounds. There was a play where two offensive linemen was just running down the field. I'm watching it, and I don't know what the hell they running after. And all of a sudden, they fall on the ground, and they get up, and my son gets out from underneath them. And I was like, holy shit, they was carrying that motherfucker. My son gets up, he looks right at me in the stands. He goes, just like, what the fuck do I do with that? Me and his mom was laughing. I could not most time when he gets blocked like that, I'm like, God damn it, you need to do. That time I'm like, hey, dude, Daddy's a big guy, and they would have done the same thing to me. They fucking drove him. Fucking about 20 yards down the field. Like you said, you just saw two big guys. He was so little, he's in the middle of them, so you can't even see him. They was just fucking, I'm like, what the hell are they fucking doing? And then you see him fall and get up. My son gets up, shakes off. I'm like, holy shit, they just drove him to the fucking dirt. It was fucking hilarious. I got it on film, too. Somewhere, I still got it, probably my old laptop.
Oh, BJ brings up a guy who didn't get blocked very much last night in Dorrance Armstrong. He looked like a baby tank out there playing.
Yeah, Armstrong looked good. I'm sure Bluff was happy.
It's great to see another
2 sacks from Armstrong last night.
Yeah, another LDE that I could feel comfortable with if Tank loses some time there or misses any time. I think Dorrance he had a hell of a game. It's preseason competitions, not what it's going to be, but he makes me feel more comfortable on that left side.
Yeah, no, I'm sure Bluff, that's Bluff's boy.
Yeah.
Sure made him happy. But I always thought he had a real good chance of making the team because, like Bluff says, the fucker plays special teams. And people tend, when they're making their 53 and they're fucking picking their favorite players and picking them hill players that they're going to stand on that hill and die for, even though it's a dumb hill to stand on, they forget special teams and how important that is. If you're not going to get a lot of playing time at your position, you have to offer something on special teams, and Armstrong does. But outside of special teams, yes, I was very impressed with him last night. Very, very, very impressed with him last night.
Lunatic says, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, dude. Go ahead. Go.
He says Armstrong has leaped far ahead of Anai, especially after last night. I don't know if he's ever been behind Anai.
He's never been behind Anai.
I don't think he's ever. I think depth chart has always been Anai, and then Armstrong ahead of him. I think, especially with the special teams, like you're saying.
Yeah, he's always been ahead of Anai.
He's also talking about your son here. Hey, but he held the double team busy.
20 yards down the fucking field. But yeah, like I said, he's my son. I love him, so I'm always going to talk about him. But you just had to see it.
Laugh at it?
Huh?
And then you tape it and you laugh at it?
Well, I didn't tape it. It's on camera. It's on the all 22. But yeah, no, I saved it. Hell yeah. I'm going to show his fucking kids, my grandkids. Let's look at your daddy getting a dick knocked in the dirt.
That's a low light reel.
Okay, you know what? Let's just go through this. Two nights ago, Rika, who is eternally
Oh,
clumsy,
goddamn. Here we go.
falls down the stairs outside of her apartment, injures her knee and her shoulder. And what does Charlie Moffat say? Are there security cameras at your complex so we can watch it? No. He doesn't even ask if I'm okay. He just wants to know if there's a tape.
Well, I figure if you're fucking texting me,
if you were
you're
texting,
okay.
you're okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you can use your fingers then to tell me, Charlie, I have fallen. When she said, Charlie, I fell. And I'm going to say, can you not get up?
Yeah.
You know?
Hit that life alert, girl.
Hit that. That's what I told her. I said, dude, you need to get one of them things you wear around your neck, one of them alarms. So when you fall and you can't get up, you can hit it.
It hurt so bad. I felt like Neville Gallimore laying down there. I mean, it hurt. Laying at the bottom of the stairs in the dirt. Nobody saw it that I know of.
But
I'm
yeah.
just gonna go with the fact that nobody saw it. It makes me feel better.
Okay. How about let's move it along a little bit. How about the linebackers? Other than Neal, I thought LV was moving really well.
I thought LV looked really good, and I've been down on him for the past 2 years, and not just because of his injuries. I've said it past 2 years. When he's been on the field, he still has not looked good the past 2 years. People say, well, he's been injured. He's trying to play through it. Well, that's great, but that's part of football is staying healthy. And so he's either injured and when he can't play, or he's playing, but he's playing injured, and he's not playing as well.
I'm going to take the Nolan year away from him because everybody looked like they didn't know what the fuck they were doing last year. So
I'm not taking anything away from anybody. They played 16 games.
That's true.
So
that's true.
It all counts. We can blame the coaches all you want, but
yeah.
He looked lost. I mean, I'm not going to blame fucking Nolan for Jalen running into a fucking gap and is spinning out of the fucking gap. Fucking let the running back run the other gap.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not Nolan's fault. I mean, that's just a dipshit player. So I'm not going to blame all of it on Nolan.
Cox had a good game.
Yeah, Cox I thought looked really good. Charlie, tell us why you love Cox.
Well, Bracket. Some people just choose that in their life, and I have chosen to love Cox.
Nice.
But I thought he looked. Look, man, I've debated this with people on Twitter. They keep saying, well, they don't keep saying, we haven't talked about it in a while, but Cox will get 10% or less of the snaps. Maybe they turn out to be right. I just don't see how they're going to give him 10 snaps a game. I mean, 10% of the snaps. I think he's going to get more than that. Whether it's through injuries, whether it's through them just giving him that 10% the first few games and them saying, holy shit, we got to get this guy on the field more. I think he's going to build up snaps. I think he'll end up seeing around 20, 25%, maybe 30. That might be high. But around 20 and 25% of the snaps. I think he's probably going to end up being your best coverage linebacker. You know, I mean, I know he got that pass completed on him last night, but he was running step for step with the wide receiver, or it might have been a running back, step for step down the middle of the field. He just didn't get his head turned around quick enough. Plus, it was a good pass and just overall good play. The quarterback just threw it right behind his ear hole. And I give a little bit of credit to a good play on the offense part. But, yeah, it's just he's just good. And where he stepped up at, where I was leery of him at, was against the run. And he's looked really good against the run.
Yeah,
that was the one spot I was like, that might be why he won't get a lot of playing time, because he's a liability. He might just be out there on second and long and third and longs. But now I think you can put him out there. I don't think he's won't be much of a liability versus the run. But yes, I love Cox.
See a lot of chatter on Twitter about him maybe swapping reps with Jalen. Any thoughts on that?
Anybody on the fucking sidelines that swaps fucking reps with fucking Jalen will make me happy. You could put fat ass Bo at fucking linebacker, and I would be happy if it takes Jalen off the field.
Oh, Charlie.
The less snaps that fucker gets, the better off we are. So, yes, I will be Cox.
Can Bo swipe, though? I don't know if he can swipe, man.
Who, Bo?
He shouldn't swipe.
Oh, Bo, I don't know if he can swipe or not. I don't know if he can bend down and do it all at one time.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. But no, overall, I thought the linebackers played well. I'm actually comfortable with their linebacker. I mean, Jalen's Jalen, and I'm always going to be negative towards him. But But the rest of them, LVE, like I said, if he can stay healthy and he can get back to his 2018 version, or even better, I think we'll have a good fucking linebacker core there, man. I think we'll have a good rotation. And Parsons, dude, Parsons just going to be a difference maker this year. Like I said, I can argue with the pick and not be all, it's like I said, it's no different than Zeke. I fucking still predicted Zeke to rush for over 1,600 yards his rookie year. He did it. I still predicted him to have 10-plus touchdowns his rookie year. He did it. So I knew Zeke was going to be good. I just didn't like the pick. It's like Parsons. But Parsons, I think, is even going to be a bigger difference maker than Zeke was. Because, one reason, because running backs don't fucking matter. But, actually, off-the-ball linebackers don't either. But they matter more than running backs. I think he's going to be great. I think I just envision him just wrecking havoc in the NFL. I mean, just because he's all over the place. Line him up at the edge. Line him up at the edge, but as a linebacker. Line him up as a fucking designated pass rusher. Line him up as a joker. Line him up in the middle and bring him in. Line him up at weak side linebacker. He can play weak. Line him up at strong. It doesn't matter. That dude you just put him somewhere and fucking just say, hey, this is what you do. Just go get ball. And that's what the fuck he does, dude. I mean, he's good. He's just that good. He impresses me.
He's so fast. He can even make a mistake early, bite on something, and just make it up. He
could be like he could do what Jalen does and be a dump dipshit and fucking take 5 seconds to read the play, and he's still going to get there before Jalen does. He'll make the tackle, the fucking whistle will be blown, and Jalen would just not be running up
with a clear eye view.
And a swipe to go along with it.
That's fucked up.
But no, he's going to be good. But our linebacker's fine. I'm a little concerned with the cornerbacks, but not much. I'm not overly concerned with it. Edge rush, I could be concerned with it, but we don't have our edge rushers out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I
don't know that they really need to be.
No, they don't need to be.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. I'm not really too. I think Gregory will be fine. D-Law's D-Law. I think D-Law's great at stop and run. First pass rush, I think he's probably above average to pretty good at that. But that doesn't make me mad. I mean, I'm fine with that. He does good enough from that spot. But like I said, he's great versus the run. His run defense impresses me more than his pass rush abilities. I've always said that. I've said that since his rookie year. But I don't really worry about them. I think they'll be fine. Maybe some depth issues, Ghosting being hurt. Fucking Urban's been taking some snaps out there, so I think he'll be fine out there for a minimum amount of snaps, for breathers and shit. And also, man, I'm telling y'all, fucking Quinn, dude, this defense it's not going to be a set defense. Yeah. It's not going to be like pass where it's 4-3 and that's what the fuck we're running. And it's going to be 4 people down with the hand in the dirt. Dude, that shit, he's everywhere. He's got them guys lined up. Like I said earlier, he's got Osa in the 1, in the 3, in the 2. Hell, he even had Bo, big fat ass Bo. Bo played the 3 a couple times last night. Fucking Big Hamilton fucking played fucking the 3 almost ever down with fucking Osa in the second quarter when Osa was playing fucking the 1. I mean, so you'll have, there's multiple plays last night that both defensive tackles were lined up in the 3 gap.
Yeah.
There was both 3s. There was multiple plays where there was both 2s. There was plays where one was 2, one was 3. Some 3, some was 1.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's played just 0 through 3.
Yeah, it's just, and everybody is getting snaps at all the positions. Mm-hmm. And they're just moving them around and fucking. Now, is that something that we're going to do all year, or is that just something he's just saying, I want to see what these guys have? I don't know. Yeah. But fucking, I mean, and fucking Urban played the 3 last night. Mm-hmm. Just about every snap that I paid attention to, and I didn't pay attention to him, I was watching other people, but every snap that I saw him, he was in the 3 tech. So I mean, and he could play the 3, he could play the 1, he could play outside on the edge. Fucking, I mean, Osa could play the 1, Osa could play the 3. Fucking Bo, he just can play the 1. Watkins, probably just the 1. But the other guy, I mean, it's going to be a lot of moving around. It's going to be a lot.
Who's that other kid? Bluff was talking about him earlier. Say what's up, Bluff.
Hey, Bluff. Marcus D. Jones.
What is the guy's name? That sometimes they'll get. Who's 99?
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Number 99. Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yes, Bluff said it
99 or
earlier.
90. I don't know.
Yeah, Bluff said it earlier in our chat, and I was like, you know what, dude? I think you might be right on this. There are fucking some Bo fans. We got one of them in the chat tonight.
So Nick's
That fucking. Sometimes I think when they're watching a game, they see a big fat dude out there with the 90 something on their back, and Bluff said this, and I agree with them. I think sometimes they think it's Bo, but it's not fucking Bo. It's actually Hamilton. Hamilton has played very, very, very well. Very well.
Yeah.
At the 1 and at the 3. That big, like I said, that big boy was taking a lot of snaps at the 3 last night, and Osa was taking snaps at the 1 in the second quarter. That's where the majority of Osa snaps came at in the second quarter was the fucking was at the 1.
The Lunatic summing it up pretty nicely here. Defensive players are getting versatile and feeling comfortable with that versatility. Absolutely, all up and down that line.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. As far as making the team and who's going to making a team and who's going to be on the game day rosters and shit, they're going to take versatility over one-trick ponies, especially on the game day rosters. I mean, you got Osa who you can line up either spot. You can line him up in the 1. You can line him up at the 3. You got Watkins, probably pretty much going to be the 1. You got fucking Urban. You can line him up in the 1. You can line him up at 3. You can line him up at the 5. You can line him up at the edge. Wherever you want him, you got him. You know, Hamilton, which I don't even know if he's going to make the team. I think Bo might get the edge over him and fucking on the 53. But if he did make the team, he can line up at both, but mostly the 1. Then you have the outside guys who can also move in. Mm-hmm. Not that D-Law is going to play the fucking 3 all the time. I'm just saying on pass rush situations, you can slide him in and fucking put him at the 3. It's going to be a lot of versatility on that defensive line. People's going to be moving around a lot. There's not going to be. I don't think there's going to be like that's a true 1 tech. That's a 3 tech. That's what we're going with. This is our backup 1, and this is our backup 3. That's it. That's where they're going to play. It's not going to be that way. You're going to have 1s and 3s, 3s and 1s, 2s and 3s, 3s and 2s. Mm-hmm. It's going to be all over the place.
I've been thinking about that versatility the last couple of days, Charlie. If any of you checked out the blog that I dropped a few hours ago, you can find it at RicaMovesTheChains.com, by the way. If you checked out that blog, then
Shameless.
You know. Shameless. That in watching Law Nation on Thursday, he asked a question about the great defenses and where were they before they were the great defenses. So I took a couple days and thought about that and spent some time revisiting a few. The late 90s, the Dolphins had a really good defense. Of course, the 2015 Denver Broncos, 2006 the Ravens, and of course the 1985 Chicago Bears. And then I looked at the Legion of Boom, and I think Dan Quinn coming in, and I especially really thought we were going to go Legion of Boom 2.0. But after I looked at some of those tapes from 85, 86, and 88, especially out of Chicago, I think what Dan Quinn is doing is trying to mirror that 46 defense that they had. So versatile, guys all over the place on that line of scrimmage, just completely chaotic. And quarterbacks never knew exactly what the hell they were looking at. They didn't know what anybody was playing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm seeing.
So,
and if it's confusing me with time to pause and look and all that, it's definitely.
That's what that mid to late 80s Chicago defense looked like. So I think that Dan Quinn is drawing some inspiration from that rather than building that secondary that he built for Seattle. I think he's going in a different direction. It'll be interesting to see how the season unfolds and if that's right.
Yeah.
We played some cover 2 last night too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if you go back and watch him in Atlanta last year, he adapted in Atlanta. His years in Atlanta, it wasn't like he was in Seattle where he was straight cover 3. He ran quite a bit of cover 2 last year too with Atlanta. And I must say quite more than normal that he would run a cover 3 guy would run cover 2. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I'm excited. I've said it now for 2 months. I'm fucking hyped over this defense. Mm-hmm. You know, I can't wait to the Tampa Bay game. I mean, I'm not going to judge us all. I mean, if they come out and fucking mollywop us, I'm not going to I'm not going to be one of the fans that's going to go on Twitter and folks like, same old shit, stupid shit they say. Because it is their first game. We're going to have a bunch of young guys out there, and it's the fucking GOAT and the world champions.
What's the line, right?
Yeah,
We're the underdogs for.
Yeah, so I mean,
sure.
Right. I don't think, and definitely on September 4th, you should tune into this channel to watch the first episode of Keeping Up with the Joneses, and you can link to that at rikenmovesthechains.com. I'm definitely going to speak more to it on that Saturday.
I'm okay with that shameless plug.
Since the schedule came out, I've given it a lot of thought, and in week 1, Cowboys fans would be foolish to expect a win. You're asking a very young defense to start week 1 in the NFL against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a Thursday night in their house. So rather than that, there's going to be those smaller things that I'm looking for. I'm not going to let a loss in week 1 be an indictment on what kind of season we're going to have. One of the 2 hardest games we're going to play this year out of 17 is going to happen in week 1. So there's stuff that I already have in my mind that I'm going to be looking for. Offensively, it's going to be ball security. It's going to be a dynamic playbook. On the defensive side of the ball, it's going to be being on assignment and being on assignment, stopping the run and being on assignment. I've got some ideas there. So, yeah, week 1 is not a loss. In week 1 doesn't mean that the coaching staff or the players have failed.
No, it doesn't mean it. And nobody has ever lost the first game of the year and their season it's over with.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go back to the 92 Cowboys. We lost our first 2 in fucking goddamn 93. Fucking 2018 Cowboys. I think we lost our first game in that one. 2014 Cowboys. Fucking, we lost our first one on that one, and Romo ended up having his best year. Romo looked like shit in that game too, and fucking still ended up having his best year.
Yeah.
The first game, it's not make or break. You're going on a road in a fucking stadium that's going to be batshit crazy. They're going to be getting their banners. If you come away with a win, that's just icing on the cake.
Right.
I mean, I guess if you go in there and get mollywopped, it might be a little bit negative. But if you go in there and you're competitive and you're holding your own and you just lose. I think the point spread's 7. Say we lose 28-21. I don't think that's bad. I'm not going to be like, oh, fuck, our season's over. Of course, after the game, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to fucking bitch about play calling. I'm going to say we're not passing enough on early downs, and I'm going to say all my shit I always say. But I'm not going to freak out and go overboard and fucking.
What up, James?
I'm sorry, James. James. Yeah, James. I was looking at his chat. Yeah. He totally fucking. I lost my concentration. But yeah, no.
I'll say this.
But yeah, I don't think we're going to.
In week 1 is to come out there and try to run the ball. That is the biggest damn mistake you can make in week 1. What did I say a few weeks ago? Tampa Bay was ranked first against the run last season, and 21st or 23rd against the pass. So why the hell are you going to come out there and run the ball? They didn't make a lot of changes in the offseason. We're facing the same team that played against Kansas City last February. They have very few roster moves in the offseason. Don't come in there and think you're going to run that ball against them. It's not going to work. You're going to have to air it out. You want to get ahead and then put Zeke to work, fine. But don't come in there and think you're going to run the ball. They're going to kill us. It's going to be 3 and outs all over the place, and before you know it, we're 32 points behind. That's a stupid move.
Yeah, I hope we don't do it, but I have a feeling.
Shit.
I have a feeling that we will.
Yeah. Force feed Zeke.
I think they'll try to ease Dak into shit. Now, with that said, if our defense don't hold up their end of the deal, if they defense looks like they did last year, then they ain't gonna have no fucking choice. They're going to have to pass. But yeah, hopefully we won't do that shit. We'll see how that fucking goes. I'm not going to cry and bitch about it until it happens. It's going to stress me out enough if it does happen. I don't want to stress out before it even happens. But yes, I'll be pissed too if we go out trying to establish a run, win time of possession. Because time of possession wins games. Yeah. Ask smart people and they'll tell you that.
Do you see the chat, Charlie? I'm loved.
Yeah, I pulled it up.
Okay, have we covered defense? Everybody's comfy with defense. You want to move to special teams? We're coming up at 55 minutes. I mean, we don't have a time limit, but
I don't. Yeah.
there's not a whole lot to talk about this game.
Let
Right?
you guys take
next
it.
week will probably be a little.
I don't have a whole lot
more
to say on special
content.
teams, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say.
I don't have much to say. It's one of them things. We ain't got our kicker.
Our punter can
We
kick
got a
field goals.
bunch of we got a bunch of young guys out there trying to win spots, and they're trying to figure out who's going to play where.
Who's the
Our
guy
punt
that's
returner
coming
is
out
going to be
early?
CD Lamb, so
Yeah.
people can fucking cry about it all they want, but that's our punt returner, and that's how they're going to have to get used to it and fucking freak out about fucking less than 2 punt returns a game, because that's just going to put them in so much danger. So I'm not worried about punt returner. Wilson's going to back them up. Your gunner's going to be your gunners. I'm not too worried about special teams. There's not really a spot on there that concerns me too much. Maybe backup kicker. I mean, you don't carry one on the roster, but if fucking Greg the Leg isn't healthy, then
This
we're
one
going
did
to.
all right.
Yeah.
What was that second field goal? Was pretty deep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he got better. He got better.
Yeah, but
He's
if it's
reaching the end zone on
if
kickoffs.
it's a fucking regular season game,
Yeah.
are you going to be like, oh yeah, fuck it, just go with fucking Nas?
No.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Like
So,
it-
but
Bird bath kid on the plane or something. You have to find
Yeah.
somebody. It's what I said when we were playing Pittsburgh. I was like, damn, they ain't got a pair of seafoam green pants laying around that would fit Kai Forbath? What?
James says, "Don't fear Tom." And like you said earlier, James, Brady's
I really, yeah.
go ahead, a statue in the pocket. He's always been a statue in the pocket, man. That's nothing new. And he has it even when he's back in the later years with the Patriots. They didn't have a great O-line. So, the fact that they went and built – Tampa Bay went and built a pretty decent line for this guy and a ton of fucking weapons. I'm not saying fear him, but you need to at least respect Tom Brady. He's got one of the fastest release times in the league. He can still carve you up. So, yeah, you don't go
People's
in there
been
and
saying-
Tom
dominate,
Brady's a lot less scary when Belichick's not helping him cheat.
he still won the fucking Super Bowl last year.
yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
he's good, but he's right for the taking. This is my thing with that. That's been being fucking said for 10 years.
Fuck, 20.
For 10 fucking years, people, he's done. This is it. He can't keep fucking going. He can't keep fucking going, and the fucker keeps fucking going. And it's just as good as the year before or better than the year before. He just keeps fucking doing it.
Sir God, he made a deal with the devil. He has signed his name somewhere.
Yeah.
He's the same age I am, and I'm get taken out by a tumble down the stairs. He's getting hit by huge guys every week.
I could have sworn that Greg was off of pup. I thought he was.
I don't know.
Let me look it up real quick.
Well, I know fucking Nunnut said he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Foster says he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about it. The punters,
I wrote that down.
I like Nas and I like Anger, so I'm good with either one of them. I don't. But for overall special teams, it's hard to fucking get a fucking good take on special teams in the preseason because you just got so many young guys out there that's probably not even going to make the team. Some of them won't even make the NFL, and they're out there trying to make the team. So it's kind of hard to judge them completely.
Okay. He's still on pup, but they keep saying that he'll be ready for game opener or season
Right.
Week 1. Okay.
He went. Oh, here we go. Todd Corey says he went 8 for 8 in pregame. For what it's worth.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't concern too much,
So
like
he
I
must have
said,
been
if something
out there.
happens and he has a setback, then yeah, I'll be a little concerned with the kicking position. But as of right now, I'm not. There's no reason for me to be concerned with it. But yeah, overall, special teams, I ain't got a lot to add to special teams. Like I said, the past 2 games, I've watched more defense than I have probably the past 5 years.
In a
I mean,
preseason
when I go back and rewatch the tape, well, that's not the tape anymore because all 22's out. But when I go back and rewatch the regular game, I'll fast forward through the offense. I just go right through it. And I go straight to the defense, and that's what I've been paying attention to, mostly because of the Bo fucking minions out there that think he's for some reason doing better than what he has been doing. But
Hey, we've all
Yeah,
got our pets, you know. We've all got our pets that we kind of have biases on, and then you know when you still try to defend them. I do it. I'm guilty.
Yeah.
But you know, you just got to trust your eyes, man. It is not looking good for Bo.
Yeah. Todd Corey has an interesting comment. Don't want goals though. Need them red zone touchdowns. You know, I was thinking about that last night when there were people on social media complaining about how we haven't cured our woes in the red zone department for another season. Um, I don't know if I'm ready to say that yet in preseason because if we've had problems. We've got red zone problems. We just do. But if we figured out a solution to that, I don't want to know about it till week 1. I
Yeah.
don't want to know it right now. Don't show it to us. Don't show it to us against the Texans next week. Don't trot that thing out. So I'm not gonna bitch about the red zone until an actual game, not a preseason game.
I'm with you.
yeah, he can be had. I agree with that, James. I don't think Tom Brady's a. I mean, at one time last year they was 7-5 with him, so he can be had. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that, as far as saying he's ripe for the taking, I disagree with that. That's being said for 10 years, and nobody's fucking taking him
He's a
too
worthy
much many times.
adversary.
He's the GOAT. Fucking
Yeah.
dude's just badass. And he's fucking beautiful too, so that helps.
Stupid.
He is beautiful.
He's got that fucking awesome jawline. Fucking great.
What the fuck?
Shoulders on that
What
guy.
the fuck?
You know I'm gonna go off fucking tilt every once in a while, dude. But yeah, no. Overall, man, what do y'all expect next week from the Texans? Specifically, Dak. Does he play? Should he play?
No, he shouldn't play. He shouldn't play. I wouldn't mind what that last preseason game is. What, Jacksonville? I wouldn't mind seeing him.
He ain't gonna play in
Maybe
that
for-
one.
No,
No starters will play. That last one, it's going to be all backups trying to make the team because that's right before the final cuts, and they're trying to get every backup in there
right.
to get as much
See, having
film
the
on
Hall
them
of
as they
Fame game
can.
this year, our off season was kind of a normal off season where we'll play that third game. A lot of starters will play. You'll see maybe a half from the starters, and then that fourth game will take the rest of the league, excluding the Steelers. Right, has 3-game preseason, so you kind of take it back a game with that kind of scheduling. But as far as should Dak play, I think you probably should get some snaps in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I would. If you watched pregame, punt, pass, and kick, he was out there throwing the coop, just like who was it? Todd said earlier with Zerline, kicking pregame. Dak was out there throwing and throwing, not just some little out and ups or some little out routes or something. He had some pretty. I'm
A little bit of zip on the ball.
There was some zip, and there was some distance. So you can tell he had to pull. He had to muscle up a little bit to do it. So I don't think there's a whole lot of issues there. They just been, the MRI came back and it's all good there. I don't see them not. Or them not playing him. I think he'll see the field for a little bit. Maybe the first series, something like that. It won't be like normal where he'd play a half and then they throw in whoever. But
I
expect to see a little bit.
If he's playing just a limited number of snaps, I really don't want to see him with CD, Cooper, and Gallup, like I mentioned earlier. I want to make sure if we're going to take 6 wide receivers, I want to get the best one possible. And I don't think you can judge them fairly until you put them on the field with number 4. At this point, I guess my 2 favorites are Simi and Malik Turner, but Malik Turner had that injury. I don't know the extent of that yet.
Is Turner the one returning kicks? Is he the one that did that hurdle last night?
No.
Anybody see that?
No, that was that Davies that did
That was
that? Or was
Davis.
it Dixon?
Davis.
So, yeah, it wasn't Turner.
Yeah.
Hey, he saved what could have been like a
Turner looked
first and
really,
10
really
to 15
good last
to
night.
20.
Turner's had a good camp. He's had good practices.
Yeah.
And when he
And
had
he
a
had
quarterback
a
to
pretty
throw him a
good
ball
game.
halfway decent in his area, he's made some good catches. He did have a fumble, though. He did have that fumble, which I don't even think was a catch, honestly. But
Yeah, he
either
had
way,
a pretty
you
good
can't
game
do
in
it.
Pittsburgh too. Not as bad as the other wideouts did. So, but like I said, he had that foot injury over in the end zone last night. I don't remember which quarter, but I don't know the extent of that injury, if it's something minor or if it's going to be a bye BJ, have a good night, or if it's going to be something long term with him. But definitely in my mind, I've narrowed it down to Simi and Malik Turner.
So you're keeping, is that with the first 4 locked, and then you're keeping 6?
Well, if we went wide receiver 6, yeah. If we want a wide receiver 6,
okay.
If we're gonna have 5, then we've got our main 3, and I think we stick with Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson.
I do too, man. I think they've actually shown a lot,
and they showed us a lot last season.
And you can really tell
Brown and Wilson did a really good job last season, especially with bad quarterback play.
Yeah, that's true.
But as far as me, my Dak opinion, I don't really give a shit. That's really my opinion. Do I think he should play? This is what I think. If Dak wants to play, if he's healthy and the trainers that he's good to go, and Dak wants to, I think it was going to be very hard for Mike McCarthy to tell him no.
I think so too.
I think Mike's going to be like, all right, fuck it, we'll get you in there. All right. On the other side of that, if Mike McCarthy tells him, and I'm good with that, and if Mike McCarthy tells him no, you ain't going on the field, I have no fucking issue with that either. Because this is the thing. People saying he needs to get in there and get a series or 2. My thing is this. Why? What will one series do? They go in there, they go, say, 6 and out, and he throws 3 balls. Is that going to help him with the Tampa Bay game? Is that somehow mysteriously just going to get him all fucking kicked in and like, yes, I'm ready for fucking Tampa Bay fucking 2 weeks from now because I threw fucking 3 passes in this game? That's my point, is that I'm not bad-mouthing people who think that. I'm just saying that don't tell me he needs to play 1 or 2 series to get him ready for the Tampa Bay game. Because for him, get him ready for a Tampa Bay game, because he hasn't played in a while. He hasn't taken live action in a while. So to get him ready, you need to let him play a whole half. And do you really fucking want him playing the whole half? Does anybody really want to see him playing the whole half? After you see Gallimore go down last night, after you see Malik Turner go down last night. I mean, this is the thing. That he makes our team fucking go. And if he goes into that fucking Tampa Bay game without a fucking snap in preseason and he comes out rusty, I'm okay with that. Because like Rocket said earlier, that fucking game ain't a make or break or your fucking season. It ain't going to break your season. If he comes out and just like, you could tell he's got rust, and he just never can kick it in, and finally the second half he kicks it in, but we still lose. Yeah. My thing is, I'm going to be like, good, he shook the rust off, let's go fucking take out San Diego. And especially the next week against Philly, you better fucking win that game because I'll be there. So that would be my thing. I'm not going to be like fucking, we lose, say we go 9-8 and we miss the playoffs. I'm not going to look back on that fucking game like, well, if we would have fucking played Dak fucking 10 snaps in the preseason, we would have won that game and made the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that one fucking game. If you give me a choice, do you want Dak healthy on game 1? Or do you want him getting fucking 5 to 10 meaningless snaps in a fucking preseason game so he can get some kind of fucking in sync with his wide receivers? I don't fucking buy it, dude. I don't. But again, if they start him, I'm not mad. I don't care. If Mike McCarthy's comfortable with it, if Dak's healthy and he feels like all players want to play, especially Dak. Sure. So that's not a question. He's not going to be like, I don't think I need to play. They're all going to say, I need the snaps. I got to have some snaps. So that's a given. But if he wants them and he's healthy and Mike McCarthy and you're going to have to get Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones involved in this too, and they all get together and they say, okay, we're willing to fucking do this. So let's give them a few series. I'm okay with that too. I don't have an issue with it. My issue I have with it is don't tell me he needs one series to be ready for the fucking Tampa Bay game.
Yeah, right. Don't hide behind, okay, he got enough knocked the rust off. If it's only going to be a series, that's not going to.
If you want the nuts, damn, I don't know where that came from. If you want the rust knocked off, then don't tell me 1 or 2 series. Tell me you want him out there for a half.
Yeah.
And this is my thing. He just got paid. He's our franchise quarterback, and we saw what he did. I want him to take the minimum amount of snaps as you can give him. Just make him happy. Let him go out there and fucking throw it 3 or 4 times. Let him complete it to fucking CD line. Maybe they get a 40, 50-yard gain and make them feel better about themselves. All right, get the fuck off the field, Rain. It's time to fucking go home. I see what our season was last year without him. And I don't want him getting hurt in a fucking meaningless preseason game that means fucking nothing.
And 2015.
And at the end of the day, the first game of the year, is not a make or break. If we lose that game, I mean, I have us losing the game anyways, but that's not the reason. I mean, win or lose, the first game of the year ain't. If we win that game,
great.
We're not going to the playoffs automatically.
Fantastic.
If we lose that game, we're not going to miss the playoffs automatically. It's not going to make or break our year. I want Dak healthy, you know. But like I said, it's going to be hard to keep him out of the game. Because that motherfucker, I mean, you saw him in HBO. Hey, why the fuck they take? Yeah, why the fuck they? He even started talking shit to Gilbert. Not bad. I mean, it sounded like he was talking. I mean, yeah, he fucking. Even Gilbert said something like, "Oh, I understand, man. Like, hold on, buddy, calm down. Don't attack me. I'm not the one taking you out." But yeah, Dad was pissed. I love that. I was like, fucking hell yeah. Tell him fucking take me out of the fucking practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Charlie, I have a question because I want your opinion on this because obviously you've played and me as a girl I have not played. Do you think that a starter who is taking some snaps in a preseason game when there are a lot of rookies on the field on both sides of the ball is more likely to get injured than they would in week 1 when everybody on the field kind of knows what they're doing?
First, the lunatic fucking fired up the grill, cooked me a fucking steak, Bubba. That sounds good. I just told my dad yesterday, I said, I need a new fucking grill. He called me, I'm daddy's boy. He spoils me. He's like, hey, I've been looking at you some new grills. I found you a couple.
Aw.
And I was like, fucking, you ain't got to buy me one, but I know he's going to, so I'm all good with that. Anyways, repeat your question, Rack. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was reading his thing. That's my bad. I'm sorry. What did you say? What did you ask?
Somewhere along those.
Do you think that a player, a starter, who goes into a preseason game surrounded by rookies on both sides of the ball is more likely to get injured in that preseason game than they would in week 1 when they're surrounded by veteran players and people of a higher caliber that know what they're doing?
That's a great point.
Right off the top of my head, I would say I don't think it's probably that much of a difference.
Okay.
I would have to look at some analytics on it. No, seriously, I don't know because I can make an argument that
which position, you know,
being behind rookies can fucking hurt you.
Right.
And like Eric just said, it also highly depends on position. I'm assuming you're talking about quarterback.
Quarterback, right?
Really anywhere.
Yeah, because if it's an offensive tackle, I don't think your chance of getting hurt is any more or any less, no matter. But you can make the argument for a quarterback that needs protection. Yes, in a preseason game, but Mike McCarthy always said
wide receiver getting tackled. Is there a difference for a wide receiver getting tackled between a veteran corner who knows how to tackle or a rookie who maybe got drafted late and doesn't have really strong tackling skills? Are they more likely to get hurt?
They're all in the league.
It won't make no difference.
Okay.
Quarterbacks don't even spot you, but this is the thing. Teams are smart enough to know if you're and Mike McCarthy said it last week, a lot will depend on how much Dak plays. If he does play, will depend on who's out there with him. They're not putting him out there with fucking with fucking steel and shit. He's not going out. With that offensive line we had fucking past 2 weeks, Dak's not playing a fucking snap. He's not playing a fucking snap and if he is, he's handing off all 3 downs or until we fucking have to punt.
That's another good point. So how long is Tyron and Leal playing? Next week.
I think it depends on how long they play Dak. Honestly, exactly. I think they're tied in hand to hand. Mm-hmm. I think if Dak plays one series, that Tyron, Zach, and Leal will fucking play one series. If Dak plays 2, they'll play 2. Yeah. If Dak comes out after one series, I think they're coming off the field 2. They might get another one just to give Gilbert some good protection. You know what I'm saying? See what Gilbert can do with some good protection. They might let them play a couple more, but all their shit depends on Dak is how Dak plays. I think if Dak doesn't play, I think they will play the first series to give Gilbert, at least give him one goddamn series with a good offensive line and see what he can do. Give him some good protection. But we'll see.
And to be fair, man, so when they take our guys off, the opposing team sees that, and they're running their comparable guys out there. It's not like they're all running ones against, GG and this fucking ragtag offensive line.
Yeah, usually they all have it set up.
Right.
Yeah, each team, you will see times where one team has a philosophy of just letting your starters play one quarter, and the other team's going to play them 2. So there will be times where second quarter the other team still has the starters in, and they're beating the fuck out of you because you have all your backups in. But for the most part, you're right. It's kind of like they kind of know, you know, because they also know, okay, we got our starters going against our fucking backups. We're about to dominate them.
What are we accomplishing?
Yeah, what are we accomplishing, really? Or they might give them a series, say, hey, you're going against backups. Fucking, you better dominate. And if they don't, they'll be like, fuck it, stay out another series. You know, but I think for the most part, Eric's right. I think they kind of see it, and they're like, all right, well, let's be comparable 2s on 2s, 3s on 3s. Because, you know, if you got your 1s on 2s and 1s on 3s, it's just, you're going to look fucking stupid at the end of the day.
Why am I going to leave my starters out there against backups and risk injury when, you know, just make it comparable, in my opinion. At least that's the way I would run it. I'm sure there's something along those lines. Like Charlie said, with some teams running a half, series, quarter, whatever. I think whoever flinches first, there's a equal reaction, right? Okay, well, they took out their fucking guys. Let's start running our 2s and 3s and 4s out there.
Yeah, like I said, if Dak plays, I'm good either way. I don't have a stance on it. I'm open. I'm on the fence with it. I'm kind of like, that's up to Dak and the coaching staff. I'll be happy if he plays because, you know, he's my guy, so I'd love to see him out there on the field. But if they decide it's too risky, we're going to keep him sitting, I'm okay with that too. You know, maybe the arm is healed, but maybe him getting another 2 to 3 weeks of rest, maybe they're like, hey, why don't we take that? Why don't we take another 2 3 weeks of rest and, you know, and just let him do it in a controlled environment to where they can control his throws and what he's going to throw, not having to react to a throw, not looking this way and all of a sudden having to turn real quick and throw and, you know, and tweak your muscles and shit.
Here's another thing that people bring up. He needs to be hit. He needs to see contact. Is that something you would agree with? I mean, I'm not trying to start shit or anything. It's a valid point because a lot of positions I could see that, right? Maybe, you know, up front, guys that are going to have contact every fucking play anyway, you need that conditioning. But for a fucking quarterback, I just don't see that. I don't think Dak is built to where he's Carson Wentz and he's going to get hurt or, you know, he's on this vegan diet or some shit and, you know, there could be some possibility. He's a fucking tank. I don't think he needs to see contact, especially with the lingering fucking injury. I just, you know, why would you?
If you want to tell me he needs to see some timing, I get that. Timing of the offensive line, like, because he can get hit,
routes,
right, you know, that where he has to get the ball out, or he's going to get his fucking yin knocked off.
Mm-hmm.
So that part, I get the timing part, but I think it's highly overstated. All right, because you can get your timing if it takes you the first half of the first game. Again, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to be upset as long as he's going into the game one healthy. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
As far as him needs to get hit. There's not a motherfucking franchise quarterback in the NFL that needs to get hit in the fucking preseason. That's dumb as shit to say. Oh, he needs to get hit. Really? He needs to get hit. No, does he need to fucking play? Does he need to get his timing down? Sure. But needs to get hit? No, he doesn't need to get hit. I want Dak to never get hit. That would be my goal, for him to never get fucking knocked to the ground all season. That's not never going to happen. But the minimum amount of times that he has to take a hit, the better off we are. In a fucking meaningless preseason game, do I want him to get hit? Fuck no, I don't want him to get hit. That's just fucking stupid. You know, if you want him to get hit, fucking put him out there in the fourth quarter with the fucking ragdolls that we have out there. He'll get fucking hit.
I watched a little bit of that Patriots game, and Cam got fucking rocked on one play, and I'm like, oh my God. If that was Dak, everybody would be freaking the fuck out. Would be pissed off at Nsekhe or some shit like that. Somebody would get fired.
Yeah. What's up, Eddie? Eddie.
Hey.
But yeah, no, this is DJ Dog. What's up, buddy?
DJ Dog.
But yeah, no, man. I don't really. No, he don't need to get hit.
No.
I don't really want to get too deep in the conversation, but yeah, I think it's a dumb philosophy to tell everybody Dak needs to play because he needs to get fucking hit.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fuck it, I'll do it. The even worse philosophy is telling me CeeDee Lamb does not need to fucking have punt returns, and out of the same mouth, you tell me that needs to get hit in the preseason.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? You are worried about CeeDee Lamb in a regular season game, a regular season that actually counts. You are worried about him taking less than 2 punt returns a game. Like 1.7 is what he averaged last year. Less than 2 per. You're worried about him getting hurt, but in a fucking meaningless preseason game, you're okay with fucking Dak getting. Not only are you okay with Dak getting hit, you want Dak to get hit. You are asking Dak to get hit.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry, and I apologize ahead of time, but you're a fucking dipshit if you fucking think that. Let me back that up. You're not a dipshit. Your opinion on that fucking is a complete dipshit opinion. You might be a fucking very smart, educated fucking man or lady, but if you think that way, that opinion is a dipshit opinion. Don't tell me I don't want CeeDee Lamb fucking returning punts because he can get hurt. And then on the same fucking breath, you're like, but I want Dak out there in the preseason game getting hit. He needs to get hit. Or fucking, and then you tell me it's two different positions. And one of your excuses is, well, one of them is Dak, and he's coming off a major injury and another nagging injury. Yes, and that's the motherfucker you want to get hit. You don't want the other guy. You don't want the other guy getting hit. That's young, not coming off no major injury, not fucking having no nagging injury. No, don't let that guy get hit. But the guy that has a nagging injury and it fucking had a devastating, yeah, fucking go hit that motherfucker.
Yeah,
the one making $160 million, the one that's the most important motherfucker on our team.
Knock that
by far, yeah, let that motherfucker get hit in a meaningless preseason game.
Yeah.
Not a regular season game, a fucking preseason game. I'm sorry. That's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. You can make an argument for CeeDee Lamb not fucking being punt returner. I disagree with it, but I can make the argument. I mean, I can jump on the other side of the fence and say, okay, I'm going to make this argument, and I can make a good argument why you don't put him back there. All right? So I'm fine with that argument. I don't agree with it, but I'm fine with it. But when you fucking make that argument and you turn around and try to make an argument that fucking our franchise quarterback needs to get hit in preseason, then you just fucking lost me. And I'm done with you. I'm like, I can't lower myself to this fucking ignorance to even have this conversation with you anymore. Because that's just fucking stupid. I'll screen record that and put it on fucking Twitter.
Do it. DJ Dog said, Nashawn Wright, I'm cautiously optimistic. Yeah, you know what? I really like Nashawn Wright, but I don't think that we see a whole lot out of him this year. I like his attitude. I think he has a good work ethic. And I think he's very fast and he's very coachable. You know, Richard Sherman was a 5th-round draft pick who had a really bad year in 2011 and then blew up in 2012. So look for Nashawn Wright next season or the season after. Even if Kelvin Joseph turns out to be that guy and we're locked down in a really great position between Joseph and Diggs and maybe Maurice Kennedy, Nashawn Wright is going to be a really nice tradable asset. I think
it won't be Nashawn getting traded.
Maybe we reached for him in the 5th, but we're going to be glad that we did. So, yeah.
He was a 3rd round, right?
Yeah, he was a 3rd runner. He should have been drafted in the 5th. I know what you meant.
He should have been in the 5th,
yeah. I knew what you meant.
Pegged. Right.
But yeah, no, Nashawn is, I wasn't happy with the pick, and I still ain't 100% bought in. But yesterday, Pittsburgh game, I wasn't overly impressed with him. But I wasn't depressed with him either. I just was mad. He didn't do nothing to stand out to me. Last night I was impressed.
His length stands out.
Yeah, if you can keep that up, if he can keep that up and build off that game and keep getting better, I'll be okay with that pick. I'll admit I was wrong and that was a good pick. You know, but like I said, I'm not going to go off fucking OTAs and everybody jumping on his dick there in the OTAs because he picked off fucking the goofy and the backups. You know, I've always said I want to see him in the preseason game, even if he's going against the 3rd string or 2nd. I'm fine with that. I'm okay. I just want to see you do it.
I said pick off 4 and then come back and talk to me. Let me see you pick off 4 in the ones.
Yeah,
and then come back and talk to me.
But yeah, no, I'm good. I thought he played well last night.
Developmental. Nashawn is developmental, and he has the potential to be something really special if his work ethic stays where it's at.
Just saying.
I don't think he'll start.
Man, I don't know.
I think it's going to be. I think they're doing everything they can to let Boss start, and then if Boss don't start, everybody's fucking hero that they want to fucking dog out all the time, Anthony Brown's going to start.
I don't even know
I've said from the beginning that I think Anthony. I've said from the beginning.
If Boss doesn't start, Anthony Brown will make the team.
In week 1, but by week 6 or 7, Anthony Brown is no longer the starter.
I can see that.
I don't know during these preseason games and during the training camp if we were going to see enough to say, oh, Bossman's the starter or Wright's the starter. I think they're going to want to see a little bit more. I think they're going to start with Anthony Brown week 1, but maybe after the bye week, we're going to make a change. Say that'll be week 8. That'll be Halloween, I believe.
Well, we'll do our 53 next week, and and I'll have Anthony Brown on my 53. He'll be on my 53 until they cut him. Until they show me that they're ready to cut him, and show me and I have no reason to think he's not going to be on the 53.
If it was based solely off the trends of this offseason, Deshaun Wright is the best out of him, Bossman, and Anthony Brown.
Yeah.
And Bossman would have been above Deshaun last week until this game, right? Because he's burned up. But Brown, I haven't seen one good play, bro. Not one. Not camp, not OTAs, not shoulder pads, not skellies, not nothing.
And
Have you seen
not against us, not against the
Bossman
team,
in
not against
Pittsburgh?
him.
They didn't throw a lot of balls his way in Pittsburgh, so there wasn't really anything to judge.
Yeah, that was the news for Bossman, right? Is that no news is good news. You didn't see anything because they didn't go his fucking way. That's fantastic. Probably because he had great coverage. And if you go back and look, he did a lot of the time. But with this week, he got burnt a lot. And that's been a trend all offseason for Brown. So,
and if it had been Big Ben looking downfield at Bossman and saying, that's not my target, I'm not going there, then I would buy a little bit more into that, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Hey, it goes both ways. Same with not picking off Danucci and shit like that. I mean, yeah, but that's me. We'll go over 53 next week.
Yeah, like I said, I don't see him not making the team until if Boss and Deshaun Wright was just fucking lighting it up, then I'll be like, yeah, he's gone.
That's fair.
But you had first week Boss didn't get a lot thrown his way. Right. Deshaun did. Nothing special. And this week, Boss looked not good, but Deshaun looked good. So neither one of them has put 2 good preseason games together. And Anthony Brown hasn't got no playing time. Yeah. He's sitting over there with all the other starters like fucking Zeke and everything. He got a few snaps in the fucking Pittsburgh game. In this game, he didn't fucking play it down.
Boss you guys heard anything about Lewis?
Lewis started. I seen him playing a few snaps, but I think he was out of there pretty quick.
Yeah, it came out quick, right? What's the issue with that? You would think that he'd get a lot more reps in.
I think they're looking at the guys that I think they know what they have with Brown, and I think they know what they have with Lewis. They've been there for a while. I think they're letting some other people say, "Hey, show us we need to cut these guys."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Show us. I mean, honestly, I think Kenny's going to be the starting slot. And that's where everything's going to get weird at. And what happens to Brown and Lewis?
Yeah.
Do you
can read a great blog about Maurice Kennedy at recommendchains.com.
Because I think Lewis, some people say he could be the backup slot, and I agree. But I also agree he's one thing. He's a slot. He doesn't play the outside. Where Anthony Brown, whether he's good in the slot or not, I'll argue that he's just as good as Lewis in the slot because I'm not high on Lewis. He can also move to the outside. And where Lewis is pretty much what he does. So are you going to keep a slot defensive back on your team that's only can do that, or are you going to keep one Brown on your team that might not be as good as Lewis in the slot? I think he is, but for this conversation, I say he's not. Might be slightly worse than Lewis is on the slot, but in a pinch, if the fucking rookies start fucking up, or if you have an injury on the outside, you can move them outside.
Have a bit,
and Lewis can't move the outside. If you lose a starting fucking corner on the outside, then you got to find one somewhere else because he ain't moving out there.
Have we seen looks from Kennedy on the outside?
Kennedy he can play the outside. Yeah, he can play the outside.
But I don't know since he's been in Dallas.
I haven't. I'm not saying he hasn't. I'm saying when I've seen him, I haven't seen him on the outside. But that doesn't mean I haven't watched. Like I said, I watched every game both games 2 or 3 times, but I haven't watched every position. I've been watching the front 4, the front 7, mostly because without the all-22, you can't see once the play starts and they go down, they go out the camera. You can't really see what's going on down there anyway. So I haven't been paying too much attention to the defensive backs. Without the all-22, I'll watch them a lot more because I get to see the whole thing. But when you're watching the replay, you're seeing the defensive lineman, you're seeing the quarterbacks line up, and then once the ball is snapped, they run off with the receiver and they're gone, so you can't really see. So I haven't paid too much attention. See, that's what DJ Dog said the same thing I've been saying for a month now.
I was just fixing to say this is a Charlie quote if I've ever seen one.
Yes. Since 2017, not one fucking time has Lewis ever finished above fucking Brown on a depth chart. That's with fucking multiple coordinators, multiple position coaches, multiple play callers. No matter who the coach is, he's always finished above Lewis on the depth chart. And now all of a sudden, I don't know. And I know it's $2 million. I get it. And I know fucking Stephen Jones is a fucking cheap fuck. But
it's really not. It's really not. Because someone comes up and slides up that cap, that top.
Yeah, about $2 million. You're saving $2.5 million. And I'm all for saving cap, but if you're going to fucking worry about $2.5 million, and it's possible Steven worries about that, I just don't think he's that cheap. I don't think he's cheap. Like, now, if it was like a $10, $15 million cap hit, fuck yeah, fucking Brown would be gone. Hell, he wouldn't be on the team right now. But $2.5 million, I just don't think that's going to be a big talking point on why you cut Brown over fucking Lewis. I don't think it will be. Yeah. But I'll admit, when it comes to Stephen Jones and that fucking dipshit, I have to concede. I have no fucking clue what he thinks. You know, I thought there was no way they pay Zeke, and they paid him. I thought there was no way they pay fucking goddamn Jalen. They paid him. I thought, fuck, they're going to sign Dak right away. Took them 2 fucking years. You know, so I have not got shit right when it comes to that fucking front office and guessing their money habits. So I will admit 100%. I could be dead ass wrong. Bluff, Eric. Everybody else saying it's going to be a money thing, following money. I admit I could be wrong on that. It could come down to money. I have no problem.
Sometimes Steven's writing checks all over the place. Sometimes he's acting like he can't afford Campbell's soup with a coupon. So yeah. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, that's why I say I wouldn't think that, but I can't get in his head. And like I said, Eric and Bluff is saying, has always said, follow the money. And I have to agree that they.
Bluff than me. I just agree with Bluff.
Yeah, that's true. It is Bluff, and I have to agree that I can't say that's not a hill I'm going to stand on and die on, saying no way fucking Anthony Brown is going to be cut because of $2.5 million, because there could be very seriously consideration. That's why he gets cut, and I have to admit that. But I will say I don't think it should be. Whether it will be or not, we'll fucking see. You know, but hopefully.
Yeah, for the record, I've favored Lewis over Brown every year.
Yeah, you have.
And Brown is, you know, according to the coaches and everybody that watches practice and has all the insider information and gets to see him every day, hey, Brown has won that spot every fucking year. So, you know, there's not much I can say about that, other than I think Lewis is the better ball player. But at least he's more flashy, a little bit more stickier. I think Brown is just, I don't know.
Yeah, and like I said many times, I defend Brown, which makes me think like people think I love Brown, and I think he's great, and that's not my fucking opinion on Brown. I think Brown is a solid cornerback, just and nothing more, nothing less. I don't think he sucks, but I don't think he's good. I just think he's solid. He's one of the guys you could do worse. I mean, Can you get better? Yes, you can. If you can get better, get better. But he's solid. You can also do worse than him. I've seen a lot worse cornerbacks in the NFL than Anthony Brown. So it's not like I have a high opinion on Brown. Yeah. It's just I'm not just going to automatically take him off the team and put somebody on there. You know, but this year you got a second-round pick that's going to make the team, and you got a third-round pick that's going to make the team. They're fucking there. Whether Brown is better or not, we can argue that. Doesn't even matter if he is. They're making the fucking team regardless. So that's 2 roster spots and Diggs. That's 3 just taken. They're not fucking going anywhere. Now you got 3 spots open to battle out for it. And who's going to get it? We'll see. Lewis, Candy, Brown, fucking Robinson, fucking who knows? You know, we'll see.
Or you think they'll keep 7 or 6 like normal?
Well, that's what DJ Dog said. That they should keep 7.
Let me ask you this, DJ: Where are you getting that extra roster spot from? Who are you going in light with? If you're still in the chat,
I'll tell you this: I'd go in light on defensive tackle and keep 7 corners. I would easily do that. I'd also go light on safety. Not both defensive tackle and safety, but just one or the other. I'd be willing to go a little light on safety, one person light to keep an extra cornerback.
I think based on what we've seen so far on that versatility that it seems that Quinn is trying to build on the line of scrimmage, I think he's more likely to go light on safety.
Plus, you haven't had anybody really.
I started off with that Quinn hire thinking he was fixing to build some kind of crazy secondary that was going to set the world on fire. But now looking at it, I don't think that's his plan.
I think it's still his plan. I think right now he's adjusting to a very young secondary, to a secondary that's 2 rookies that's going to get significant playing time, a second-year guy that's going to get significant playing time, and a bunch of safeties that we have no fucking clue how it's going to work out. So I think, and I also think Nick's brought up about how Quinn has been blitzing a lot more than he has been in the past, and I think that's part of the reason is I think he realizes I'm going to have to win with pressure.
Yeah.
That I can't do like we did in Seattle and just rush 4 and fucking get home with 4. That we're probably going to have to win with pressure. And if it means us blitzing, and when you have Parsons and shit like that, it also just gives me, look, I got a player that's badass at blitzing, and I want to use him that way. But I still think he believes in. You
had the 12th pick though, and you didn't go secondary. You went linebacker.
There wasn't no secondary to go. Yeah, but you couldn't go secondary.
You couldn't have.
Oh yeah, you could have and reached and fucking maybe even more pissed off.
You also, yeah.
Yeah, at 12, when them 2 corners was taken, it had to be, to me, offensive tackle. It should have been Slater. But once you don't go Slater, if you're just going to have to go defense, and you got to have defense,
you picked in the 3rd round. You had 3 picks in the 3rd round, and you didn't go safety.
And you picked safety part. Or we're talking about safety. We're talking about corner. Because we're talking about safety, they don't value safety. That's something they haven't valued since Woodson left. So but if we're talking about corner, but if we're talking fucking corner, then no, yeah,
you went corner in the 2nd.
They went corner in the 2nd. There wasn't no corner you could take in the 1st.
Even if you don't value safety, though, you got kind of like a free pick in the 3rd with that dumbass trade that Philly made.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
If Dan Quinn was gonna talk Steven into drafting safety high, that was the pick he could have used to do it. Hey, we got this pick we weren't expecting. Let's grab a safety.
Yeah, there was like 2 picks that we in the 3rd round that I thought there was a safety there that they could have took. But like I said, I still think I think he's still probably coverage greater than fucking pass rush guy. But you got to go with what you have on your team, and if your team is more of a pass rush team, then that's what you got to live off of. But yeah, no, I think drafting in a corner in the 2nd, another corner in the 3rd, a corner that nobody else even had in the 3rd. I think it shows he still believes in the corners, and he still believes in good coverage. But they are young, and I think that's why he's probably been blitzing more, because I think he's going to live off pressure this year. And another thing is, he's admitted that he stepped back. He watched every game that they played last year. Atlanta did. He watched fucking the whole NFL games. He watched all kinds of games, and he said he had to take a step back and recalibrate. Yeah. What was he doing wrong? McCarthy. And he came up with a bunch of different stuff, and I think that's why you're seeing a bunch of different stuff. I think he saw. Look, I run kind of vanilla. Because the cover 3 is very vanilla. It's running out of date in the NFL. It's coming like the old cover 2, where cover 2 used to be great, and then offenses figured it out and started picking it apart. The cover 3 became fucking great. Everybody, cover 3, let's run cover 3. But slowly but surely, offense is starting to figure it out, and they're starting to tear that apart. And I think he see that, and I think he's like, well, look, let's do some things different. And I think that's what you're seeing. Because like I said, he's lining up in defenses, and Riker, you're right on this. It does look a lot like the 46. It does look a lot like the Bears. Actually, it doesn't look like the 46. It looks like a version of 46. It looks like fucking Buddy Ryan's son, Rex and fucking.
It's a similar concept.
Yeah, Rex and fucking Numbnuts, the brother. they ran a 3-4, but it was a version of the 46. A lot of concepts that their dad came up with, and I think that's what he's doing. I think he's running a lot of them concepts. I think he's decided not to just go strictly 4-3, strictly cover 3. Let's be vanilla. Let's just fucking do. I think he's coming up like, look, we're going to give you different look. Dude, you see how many zone blitzes and fucking fake blitz? I mean, they'll line up all over the place, and fucking 2 would drop, 1 rush. Next play, them two rush, this one would drop. I'm impressed. You know, that's I think we're gonna confuse a lot of teams. I think
if it confuses me with the power of fucking pause and rewind, imagine a defense that's got 10 seconds to what the
even with them being smarter than us at reading defenses, they got 10 seconds.
Exactly.
No, us, and I say us, not just you, us. They're smarter than us at reading defenses, but they only got 10 seconds to do it. We might not be as smart, but we got fucking all day. And there's things I can spend all day on. I'm like, I have no fucking clue what the fuck that defense is. I don't know if it's a 4-3, a fucking 52, a fucking 47. It's like they're fucking everywhere.
4 linebackers on the field with 2 on the same side of the line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. So,
Yeah, that play in Pittsburgh that Bluff put into our chat, that screenshot.
Parsons fumble recovery.
Yeah, Parsons fumble recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
4 linebackers, 2 playing on the line on the same side of the ball. Pretty fun, crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the one that we was trying to figure out if it was a 4-3 or 3-4. Yeah. And who was a strong safety? We never really figured it out, truly. We didn't really know exactly who was lined up well. Damn, I'm talking like I did when I was 7. Fucking speech class. Fucking, I shouldn't say that because somebody else watching might have a speech problem, and that's rude, but.
They kind of expect that from you, Charlie.
Yeah, they do. They knew you were a short bus guy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that play that we were just talking about from the Pittsburgh game, like a 4-3 under with the Sam up to rush.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was confusing.
Yeah,
it was definitely confusing. And we sat there staring at it for like a long time.
I mean, even on Twitter, it was going. I think Matt O had it on Twitter as well, and talking about maybe it was a 5-2. But again, if you look at the lineup, the way it looked, right, wasn't that difficult. But then you looked at the personnel and where they were.
That's what was confusing. The lineup was 3-4.
Holy fuck.
The lineup was a 3-4.
Right.
But the personnel was a 4-3 maybe, or a 3-4 with some people way out of fucking character where they was playing.
Yeah, right.
So you don't really know. I mean, was Neal a safety on that play, or was he weak? Was fucking Jalen a safety? A strong safety, or was he a fucking Sam? Was fucking Parsons a fucking edge rusher, or was he outline? I mean, it was like, holy shit, I had no clue how to dissect it.
I think I had him as a designated pass rusher on that play.
I think that's what I end up with, too.
Yeah. 4-3 under with a designated pass rusher coming off the edge.
And DJ Dog, you need to come in our chat more often. You chat good. You bring up good questions and shit.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He's always in fucking bluffs.
Yeah.
Always saving bluffs. Yeah, you fucker, you fucking took that off. I was trying to read it. Goddamn Mr. Producer taking over trying to read shit. Hey, asshole.
Bro. It's uncensored, bro. He's so slow at clicking the buttons, too.
It's uncensored, bro. My mom is devastated, man.
What have you done?
Yeah, Bluff brings that up about good.
Not so much me as it is Charlie.
Bluff brings that up about Goodwin.
Yeah, Bluff is
making the team.
Goodwin,
but somebody brought it up the other day, and I can't remember who it was. I wish I could give him credit for it, or unless I didn't like him, then I don't give a shit about giving him credit. But they brought up a good point that they think it's getting to the point where is Goodwin really, is he really that fucking good?
Is he an ace? Is he really, though?
Yeah, I mean, is he that good that they're going to actually keep him on a roster spot just for fucking special teams with no snaps at all, and lose a cornerback, which it's not like we're fucking deep and fucking great at cornerback.
That's what I'm saying.
And they made a good point. I'm not saying I agree with them, but they made me at least think that, you know what, I guess it is possible, because I've always agreed, Bluff, that Bones ain't letting that motherfucker go. Right. And I agree with I agree. I think Bones will fight McCarthy, Jerry Jones, and everybody in that fucking room talking about his nuts getting clipped. Fucking about keeping Goodwin. I think he'll fight all of them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he might lose that fight.
How many years has Goodwin?
Fucking
Three,
3 or
four.
4,
Yeah.
3 or 4,
Three or
some shit.
four.
I don't know.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, he's our special teams he's best player on special teams. Mm-hmm. But it's getting to the point where can you keep fucking just making a roster spot for him just for special teams only? You know,
Yeah.
to me, this is what I want.
For me, Bones' argument would be, if I don't have this veteran guy, does a rookie know to fall on the ball in that Atlanta game when Atlanta didn't know the rules?
My answer to that, if I was Jerry Jones, that was last year. I don't give a fuck. That's never going to happen again. Atlanta was dumb as fuck. Now every team in the NFL saw that. They're like, don't be dumbasses. Don't let this happen again. Fucking get on the ball.
Yeah, I don't need a rookie cornerback in that spot. I need a veteran.
No, Bones he's going to fight for him. I think it's getting to the, and I'm not saying he's not going to make the time. I'm not predicting this. I'm just saying that whoever made that point, at least maybe think that, you know what, they might be right. It might be getting to the point where they might. This is my thing is, if you're a special teams ace, and this is old, this is why I'm going to show my age. I want Bill Bates. And he's not a Bill Bates fucking special teams player. If I'm going to keep a roster spot open you year after year after year after year after year, just for you to play special teams, you better be Bill Bates types. You better be fucking numbnuts, fucking Tasker. You better be one of them type guys that is just top of the line fucking special teams player for me to keep a roster spot open for you year after year after year after year. Eventually, I'm going to have to decide, okay, are you worth this roster spot? Like Bill Bates, he is worth it. Steve Tasker, worth it. You know, I mean, them guys, them top special teams guys, they was well worth it.
Just for the record, Goodwin has been in the league since 2014.
Yeah.
He was undrafted free agent for the Steelers.
Yeah, but he's been with us 3 or 4 years, right?
31 years, and he's been a Cowboy for 4.
Okay, that's what I thought, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I didn't know where he came from. I couldn't remember that, but I knew I thought he'd been with us for 3 or 4 years.
Kennedy came from Baltimore. Hold on, let me throw that out there. Kennedy came from Baltimore as a special teams guy, so I wonder about Goodwin. Yeah, same.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
I didn't know he was 31.
I just, is there another special teams, and it might not be a rookie either, Rocket. Is there another veteran on that team that can step up? Can Kennedy step up and be a good one? Maybe not to his level, but worth enough to where, like, okay, Kennedy's going to get playing time, and he's going to be my best special teams player. You know, and so it's, like I said, I'm still with Bluff. I still think they'll keep him. I still think he has a huge sponsor, and I think Bones is going to do everything he can to keep him. But like I said, whoever made that argument today, they just had a solid argument that it might not be that way anymore. That it could be they keep 6 cornerbacks and Goodwin's not one of them. It could be they keep Brown and Lewis, and fucking, or it could be that they keep Reggie Robinson, because Reggie Robinson plays special teams. He stepped up on special, not great, not Goodwin style, but he can play special teams. So maybe they'll go with him. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know how that'll turn out. But that was a good question. A good point by DJ. Dog.
So what are we at? We're almost 2 hours.
Yep, almost.
Wrap this shit up.
Wrap it up. Let me go drink some beer.
Yeah, something.
No, I'm just kidding. I haven't drank beer in almost 3 years.
So Kennedy's only 27. The age
Yeah,
difference alone,
Kennedy's young.
I would take.
Yeah, he's young.
I mean, how big is the gap, if there's any at all, on special teams between the play from those two guys? But the 4-year age difference, give me the young guy.
Kennedy just did not get a lot of playtime in Baltimore. He got more playtime with the Jets because he had so many injuries. Those first few years, he had some injury problems that kept him chronically on injured reserve.
Yeah, I went back and watched this film last year.
So he's not as veteran as you would want him.
Yeah, I went back and watched his film when we signed him last year. And I had predicted he was going to make the team, and he was going to be the reason Lewis didn't make the team. I thought he would take over Lewis's spot. I thought he would take over the slot, and I thought Lewis would be off the team. Then he opted out, and then they moved Reggie Robinson to safety, so that left 2 spots open for fucking Lewis to make the team. I still think Lewis is on the bubble. I still think he's and I know they signed him just this year, but how many times have we seen them fuckers sign somebody and cut him fucking 3 months later.
Clinton Diggs.
I mean, yeah, he signed for hell. We cut Worley, fucking Dix, fucking fat fuck that got pushed off the line of scrimmage every play. Poe. Fucking yeah. I mean, we signed him, and them motherfucker was gone before the season was over. So it's not unheard of.
Who is the dude we got from Minnesota?
Griffin. Yeah, we traded him.
But I mean, it wasn't like we kept him and signed him for a bunch of fucking money or a long extension.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That them little contracts, them little 1-2 year contracts for $2-3 million, they're easy to get out of. Even the dead money. If you collect dead money,
nobody gives a shit.
You're collecting like a couple $100,000 dead money. Even if it's a like hell, even Brown, you collect $3.25 million dead money if you cut him.
Yeah,
which ain't much. The only thing I fucking think about Brown is, and I know it's small amount, but people, not me, people worry about dead money. When you say that player needs to be cut, their first question is always, how much dead money? And I'm like, why are you fucking asking that? Your question should be, how much cap savings do we get?
How much cap savings?
I don't give a shit about dead money. If we get $20 million, if we have $20 million of dead money and only $5 million of cap savings, fucking cut them. I don't give a shit. You're getting five. You got $5 more million to spend now than you did if you don't fucking cut them. So I'm okay with the dead money, because if you cut them next year, it's still going to be dead money. You get more cap savings, but you're still going to have dead money. But everybody's, when the dead money's upside down, when the dead money's more than the cap savings, people are typically you can't do that. Well, just let people know, the ones that want to cut Brown, his dead money is more than his cap savings. You're going to collect over $3 million of dead money and only get $2.5 million of cap savings.
Yeah.
So there's always that too. I can't remember what Lewis. You get you get $200K cap savings, and I think you collect $1 or $2 million of dead money. James Hanna.
James Hanna in his prime as
I always liked James Hanna.
Yeah.
He was always a good third tight end. He's a good blocking tight end too.
I was going to say, now with McEwen going down, what was it, an ankle that they ended up saying? High ankle sprain? That's another, at least a few weeks.
Yes, it's a high ankle sprain.
You got Jeremy Sprinkler.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, and he got targeted quite a bit last night.
It's just, man, it's preseason games. It's so hard just to get a grasp on everything. Me and Eric's kind of a little different than most. We're not going to break a lot of shit down and give. We got strong opinion on certain. Like I got strong opinion on fucking Bo. I got strong opinion on Osa. But there's just certain players I just can't. With quarterback play and shit like that.
I'm not worried about Jeremy Sprinkle, and Marcus is right. He probably is secured now, but I was never that worried about him. Jarwin and Schultz are both really good.
I'm a football nerd, but once we start getting down and we start talking about the third tight end or the sixth wide receiver or the fifth fucking cornerback or the fourth fucking safety or the sixth fucking linebacker, I'm like, yeah, y'all could talk about that. I don't really got nothing to say about that because I really don't give a shit. Because if we get down to that fucking spot, we're fucked. That's like fucking offensive tackle. Do we got two good ones? Yes. Do we got a fucking good backup? Yes. All right. I don't give a fuck who the fourth guy is, because if you get to the fourth guy, you're fucked. So I'm not really worried about it. I care about the starters, and I care about who's replacing them if they come out. If I got to worry about who's replacing their backups, then what the fuck am I worried about? We're going to have a fucked up season anyways, and I'm going to be relaxed and have a lot of fucking games that I don't have to freak out about like I did last year. That was a stress-free year last year.
That's true.
I got to actually enjoy watching football. Like when we lost, we lost, no big deal. Just fucking turn TV, watch a little bit of fucking Breaking Bad or whatever I was binging at the time.
Check to see how good your fantasy team's doing.
Yeah. Well, I made my fantasy team one today. Let me check that out. But yeah, I agree with Marcus on that. Sprinkle's pretty much secured now that fucking numbnuts went down.
Came out. We talked about Nishiki. We talked about Malik Turner, McEwen, Gallimore, Anthony Hines, linebacker with a shoulder, but I wasn't sweating that too much.
I don't think he had a shot to begin with.
No. So.
Yes. And I think Bluff would agree to you.
Yeah. DJ Dog backup center.
But we talked about it earlier, DJ, and we were saying they're just.
Don't know who we would get.
I think Nick's brought up there's a ex-Kansas City player or something that's like 36 years old. Is probably about the best you have on the market right now. So I'm not so sure. But I will say this. If he can get the fucking ball to the quarterback, then fucking sign him. Because fucking Connor cannot get the fucking ball to the quarterback. And again, I want to bring my son into this. My son started playing center in 7th grade. He volunteered for it because they didn't have no centers. Fucking, they told him line up the position you want to play. Well, first he lined up at tight end, and he realized there's like 7 of them. Then he saw there was only one center. He's like, fuck that, I get playing time. So he was smart. So he's like, fuck it, I'll play center. And I had taught him how to snap. But when he got in high school, he was a backup center, and they was trying to give him more snaps. But he has small hands, and how they wanted to fucking make him grip the ball, he couldn't grip it that way. They wanted him to take it without the laces and then turn it while not there. And he was like, I can't do that. They're like, well, that's how the quarterback needs it. And I told him, you know what, dude? Tell the fucking coaches. Well, it's always shotgun. They never ran underneath the center. Mm-hmm. I said, tell the coaches, yes, sir, that's how I'm going to do it.
If it's fucking shotgun, who gives a fuck?
I said, and as soon as that fucking coach walks away, turn that motherfucking ball around and snap it how you want to snap it.
Exactly.
I was like, because the most important thing, and as a center, is fucking getting the ball to the goddamn quarterback. Because he would always worry about when they would line up for a blitz or he'd have a zero right over. Yeah. He'd get fucking nervous. Mm-hmm. So he would try to get the ball out in a hurry so he could try to block. I told him, hey, dude, fuck blocking. I'm like, you got a fucking athletic quarterback that runs a fucking 4.4. I was like, if you don't block that guy, he can handle that guy. I was like, but if you don't get the fucking ball to him, he's never going to be able to goddamn handle anybody. I said, so get the fucking ball to him and then let everything else go as it may. But yeah, Connor just can't get the ball to the quarterback. So
and I didn't understand what the hell Connor was doing. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am a girl. In my life, I got one opportunity to play football, a powder puff game in 1994, and I played center. And the quarterback got the damn ball from me every single time. They weren't rolling around on the ground with it either. I don't understand what Connor Williams.
It is a lot hard. It is a lot
that hard. I didn't think it was that hard.
It's a lot harder when. If you just go out in your backyard and nobody's rushing you, or you're playing a powder puff game or flag football, because I was center for flag football, and you don't have to worry about anything. All you got to do is just snap it. It's not that bad. But when you have fucking dudes in front of you, and you know right when you snap it, them fuckers are coming after you, and you got to get up after snap and get your hand set, it can get in your fucking head sometimes, and it just, most of your bad snaps are from fucking guys trying to get the fucking ball out so they can make a fucking block more time. And Connor did that. That last one where he just rolled it on the ground, that's just him just fucking throwing it on the ground and trying to get up and make a block. Yeah, Phil Costa was fucking horrible at it too.
Terrible. Oh shit. Marcus played center. It is a very difficult position to play. The reason Connor struggled is if he was scared and focused on the guy and not the ball. Exactly.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's why when you have a guy in front of you, it changes everything. That's why I said that last fucking play, he knew that guy. He's like, fuck, I got to fucking block that guy. So he basically fucking bowling balled back there, just trying to get out of his hands. And it's hard. And the only reason I know about center is because my son played it.
Yeah.
And I know, because I was always like, dude, fucking, what are you doing? Fucking whine. He's like, well, I got a guy in front of me. I was like, fuck that guy. Fucking just get the ball to the quarterback. Let him steamroll you. Who gives a shit? He had an athletic football team, dude. I'm like, that quarterback can handle anything. I was like, no, that fucking fat defensive tackle ain't going to get to that quarterback. But yeah, it's difficult. It's not easy. And the thing about Connor is he's never played it. I mean, he's never done it. So you're asking him, you drafted him out of college as a tackle. Then you moved him to guard. It took him a whole year to learn how to play guard. Then he gets hurt. Then he comes back and actually has a pretty good year last year. And now you're like, hey, why don't you go in there and try to snap the ball and play center now? Like, Jesus Christ, man. Get this fucking dude a break. You just can't. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can play tackle. Not everybody can play guard. Not everybody can play center. And center is a whole different ball game because you got to make the calls. Well, you ain't got to. Sometimes if you got a bad one, quarterback can make the calls. But you need to make the calls. You got to call everything out. You got fucking dudes lined up right over fucking head on like 2 inches from your fucking head. You got to snap the ball, and then once you snap the ball, you got to come up, set your hands. It's not an easy thing to do.
I think he was forgetting to snap the ball a few times.
Yeah, and you do that because, like Marcus said, you
like the first thing you do.
you get in your head like, okay, this guy's going to come here, he's going to come this gap, and you start thinking about that, and you forget, oh, fuck yeah, I got to get the ball to the quarterback too. And you just forget about that and just throw it back there, and then it ends up, over his head or between his fucking legs or fucking 10 feet to the left.
I know it's a different motion altogether, but Jake McQuaid is 6'2", 250. Can he snap the fucking ball?
The long snapper. Hey, fucking Stepnoski only weighed 253. Out of all them fucking big fucks on our offensive line that weighed over 3, he was 253 pounds. He was and if you ever see him snap, he snapped with both hands. I guess he had smaller hands. He always had 2 hands on the ball when he snapped. As he was bringing up, he let go with one and snap it.
Yeah.
But and he was 253, fucking between 2 320-pound big motherfuckers. He was a small little center. He was good though.
Austin Reeders, 29 years of age, Kansas City plays center.
There you go.
May cost too much.
Yeah, I think that might be the one fucking BJ was talking. I don't know. I looked at it the other day and I'm like, yeah, I hope Connor wins this because there's really nobody out there. Because if he can't win it, it's going to be the little rookie from Nebraska, the one I can't pronounce his name.
Tyler Biadasz?
No, not Badass. Badass center.
Oh,
Farniok?
Yeah, Farniok. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Farniok.
That's and
He's so tall.
Do you really want to go with a fucking rookie center?
He's 9 foot tall.
I don't know what the rookie
So,
center last year at work.
Fucking Dak would be like blue 42, chest high. And
shit. Yeah. But that rookie center last year, Badass was actually, he went in the 4th, but that was over injuries. If he wasn't injured, he'd been second, at least a 3rd round pick. A lot of people, he was highly thought of. And plus he came from Wisconsin, which is a fucking goddamn offensive lineman fucking powerhouse. It's like they just constantly produce O-linemen. They run old style fucking offenses and
LSU's DBU, Nebraska's motherfucking O-line U.
Yeah, Wisconsin's O-line U too. Yeah. And fucking but yeah. I don't know. But yeah, Bluff's been worried about it. You gotta give him credit. He's been bitching about it for 3 fucking months now. So ever since the draft. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We'll see. What we got to do is pray to little 6-pound, 8-ounce baby Jesus that Badass stays healthy all year.
6.8. I think it's 8.8 pounds. I don't know.
Yeah, 6 pounds, 8 ounces. I got that shit memorized. I fucking watched that movie so many times.
I'm pretty sure it's 8.6, but all right.
Well, 8'6" ain't fucking a small baby. 6'8" is. 8'6" actually a big baby. But yeah, no. But yeah, Blood's been talking about it. We'll see how it works. We hope Badass stays healthy. But he's never. I mean, he's an injured player too. That's why he fell. He was injured in college. He got injured last year. Mm-hmm. So you do have to worry about it. That is a downfall of his, is him staying healthy. So we'll see. We'll see how this fucking works. That's shit, you know what I didn't fucking tell everybody at the beginning? To like our video.
Like and subscribe.
Share. Comment.
Share.
Fuck,
love
man,
and
we
share.
suck at this shit, dude.
Whatever.
You guys absolutely suck at this shit.
We didn't ever say it was good.
I don't know if there's anybody still.
That's true.
That
is true. We never claimed that.
What are the expectations here? That's on y'all. Fuck y'all, man. Yeah.
But anyways,
go like and subscribe if you haven't already.
We ain't got many people left, but the ones still left.
Even if you hate this damn show.
Yeah, tell us how fucking
subscribe and ring that bell anyway, because you can't troll Charlie if you don't know when he's on.
Also, shout out to the Facebook group, hashtag DC4L.
Yes.
It was Amanda Foster's the admin there.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
As far as following us goes, just Dallas Cowboys Uncensored and everything. Yeah. Just fuck the Dallas Cowboys, you won. Just type in Dallas Cowboys Uncensored in Twitter, Facebook, or fucking YouTube, and you get us. So that's real easy to follow. I don't really give a fuck if you follow Rocka, but if she wants to say something, she can.
Fucking Charlie. You can follow me. I'm over on Twitter at Chains Moving. You can find me on Facebook. First name Rika Moves, last name The Chains, or you can just head to my website directly, RikaMovesTheChains.com. I dropped a blog about 4 hours ago.
What's your views on it?
Yeah, and she's been trending all over Reddit, Twitter. I mean, she's killing it. So go check that shit out. Even if you don't want to read it, just go click the fucking button.
Yeah, just do me a favor and click it. You don't even have to read it.
It's all right. It's not that bad.
It's actually a really good read.
Anyway.
It really is. She writes very well. Really good. I'm impressed with it.
It's doing well, but it's
blah 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 blah.
This fucking asshole, man.
We're gonna have so much fun on Saturday's show, dude. This is going. There might be times for an hour we don't even talk about football. We just fucking constantly just dogging each other out, dude. But
That's all I got, fuckers.
anyways, on Saturdays for ones that's left, there ain't many people left. We will start September 4th. Another show. It'll be us three and Cowboys y'all, Lambo and Marcus, both from Cowboy Zone. It's going to be fun. What you just saw is going to be a lot of that shit. It will be football. It's not going to be all stupid shit, but it will be football. But it's going to be structured a lot different than breaking down games and shit like that. It's going to be like 5 people just sitting around drinking a beer, bullshitting about football and fucking talking shit to each other. So It should be fun. We do have a special announcement that night too.
Absolutely.
Riker's going to make it. So be pretty cool.
Making all kinds of announcements that night. I got plans, big boy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that shit.
Go.
This is going to be so much fun.
You'll see. Tune in.
Yeah, tune in. Well, don't tune in. Don't watch for the first 5 minutes and then tune in.
No, you definitely want to catch the first
you
5
won't
minutes.
catch them intros, bro.
Those intros are going to be straight fire.
It ain't gonna be my corny ass up there. Welcome to the show. It ain't gonna be
No,
like
we're
that.
gonna. I think Rika's going to do all that.
Yeah, I'm gonna let
Yeah,
Rika-
we're gonna let Rika
Intros
do
brought
that.
to you by Rika with her wit and charm.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it. That's it for us. Appreciate y'all coming out, showing support. Appreciate all the comments and likes and subscribes
Thank you,
and all
Eric,
that
for
bullshit.
having me.
Yeah,
hell
don't forget.
hell yeah.
Don't forget to hit the like button
It's Charlie
or dislike
too.
button, and don't forget to say good show or y'all suck. Don't matter to me. Just do something for us, please.
Good night. Salute.
Good night. Later.
Peace.